go. Let's do it. Welcome to our Freeze Pipe 420 special here on Last Free Nation. Thank you very much to Freeze Pipe for sponsoring this content. We have indulged in our own Freeze Pipes before filming this, so should be a pretty entertaining time for you guys. The purpose of this is to show a bunch of old cringe content. Thank you to all of you who submitted this on Twitter and on the Last Free Nation Discord. As usual, thanks to Freeze Pipe, this wouldn't be possible without them. So if you like this content, and you would like to purchase some new glass, perhaps you head on over to www.thefreezepipe.com and use code LFN for 10% off your entire order. That would certainly be a delightful option for you if you want to see more of this in the future. They are the ones who make all of this possible. So Thorin and I, we have quite the list of videos that we're going through.
You know, Monty, technically, we don't actually only have to do some of this content on 420. It's a good excuse to do it, but actually, if it was really good, believe it or not, you can actually use a freeze pipe whenever you want. So we can actually do this anytime in the future you want, right?
Exactly. Anytime in the future, we can do this kind of content if you guys enjoyed it. We know you have enjoyed the Breaking Point and what was it? The old what was the documentary series called?
Game Cribs,
yes, with TSM in the past.
Yes.
Some of that was much more intense than a lot of the content we're doing today.
Oh, it's wild.
So we start here, and I know you guys might be confused by the screen that you're seeing that says League of Legends Season 3, but here's the thing. You might think, is this the third season of the LCS? The answer is no. It's the first season of the LCS. Not confusing at all, by the way. It is the third year since League of Legends was launched, hence why it was, or since the first World Championship, I should say. And now we have the LCS. So this would be in 2013. We're actually going to see several pieces of content from 2013 today. And this was an interview with Balls and Lemonation, who eventually became Cloud9. So famously, Jack purchased Quantic Gaming for $10,000, and Cloud9 ended up winning the LCS in their first summer split after being promoted.
That's also why they're wearing the Quantic jersey here, because the point is this is them like getting through the promotion to get into the LCS. So obviously he bought them once they got the LCS spot, which they got from Complexity, if you remember.
Right. And so this team was extremely good at the time by North American standards. And of course, this was the original roster with Meteos.
By the way, I actually think that's why on this video as like a bit of a primer for people. That's the part of the context people missed at the time. The reason these guys are so weird and just like their humor's so like off the wall is because at the time, unironically in scrims, that was the whole hype that they were even beating the LCS teams and just dominating everyone. So they were at that point that people get to where you just like win all the time and you just develop these really weird like interpersonal relationships and like even script, like he said, like that's why they're making these weird jokes. Like, yeah, we joke all the time about suicide, and you're like, what? But it's like that's the point. They're just so meta at this point in time. If you actually know that context is not that crazy a video, but if you don't, it is mad. Like the first time you see this one, it is a mad video in it. You are just like, what? It's sort of like you would expect someone to step in, Monty, and just go like, we're going to do another take.
So it actually hilariously feels. So first off, we picked this one to go first because it seems like everyone is high within this video.
Even though ironically, high isn't actually there at all.
Yeah, high isn't in this video.
Lemonation and Balls, of course.
It's Lemonation, Balls, and Freak, but all of them seem like, you know, they've enjoyed their freeze pipes before coming onto this.
Sure.
And you can just see how awkward this is. All right, so let's roll it. Let's roll it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Freak here with Lemonation and Balls from the victorious Quantic Gaming. So first of all, you guys are in the LCS. How's that feel?
He is sus.
Really good. Really good.
Oh no, it's just super great.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
Are you prepared to be pro gamers already, or is it still sinking in?
We've been practicing like a lot of scrims, and we're like just prepared for this. Like we're just like
all good so far.
We already knew like
all good so far. Till that weird little.
All right,
smile.
so let's take a step back and talk about the road you guys took to get here. So we'll start with the old Quantic squad that you were on Elimination, or I guess Cloud9 back in the day. You guys didn't make it through groups.
We did not.
We did not.
How do you feel when you're like a favorite and you like, what does that do to you?
Oh, what a shit question. Pause it there a sec, because here's what he just did right there. I'll tell you as an interviewer. He actually thought of a question, right? But he lost it after he said that first part. And then he just like fluffed it and just said something like, so how do you win? No, exactly. That's the point. You just said some nonsense, so you just stuffed it completely. But the sad thing is, when that video starts, you actually think like, "Oh, Freak was actually pretty put together all the way back then." But then he just scoffed it already, and he's just
very depressing.
Dropped it.
We were joking about suicide.
There we go. The classic line. It's the way he does that nervous laugh to himself, like suicide. Killing myself. Yeah. I won't exist anymore.
What I love too is just the meme faces in this. Like, what is Freak's expression when he asks this question? Like, his smile is just so funny. What is that?
That is a classic video, though. Because the problem is, like, here's the sad thing. There's other videos that we'll watch where we're going to laugh at, like, other esports as well. But to be fair, if someone showed you that from League, like, I came from other games, remember? If someone showed you that, and that was, like, the first outing of LCS, you would just be like, this is an absolute clown show. Like, that's mad embarrassing. That's almost as bad later as that one with, like, the intro where they go into that gym for Hon or whatever. Like, that's on that level, dude. It's mad cringe. And that could be, like, an Adam Sandler clip or Will Ferrell movie or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it is like a parody
or something. You know what I mean? It's so cringe.
It is a parody of itself in many ways. Like, that's why it's so funny. And by the way, guys, people loved this content when it came out. This is part of the charm of the LCS. It was things like this that really drove the popularity of the LCS because
Mitch, a clip like that
ridiculous.
For real, I don't know what it has on YouTube now, but like for real, clips like that back in the day would be minimum hundreds of thousands of views. It was similar. In my content team when I first started, it was insane. They're like, but people don't know. You would think because League's big now and the numbers are big in like China and stuff, must be its peak now. But in the West, for sure, it like started almost at the peak. You know,
that clip we just saw has 1.5 million views.
There you go. And that's just a stupid interview. Remember, guys, that was an interview with a team that hasn't even yet become really good. They're just some fucking team from promotions.
And also that that clip was the edited version of it, so it was just edited. You know, it was like spiced up by one user, and it just went viral. So there were other versions of that as well. That wasn't the official.
The only sad thing is, though, that's actually one thing, Monty, we should just say on this to close out, though, which is the downside of seeing that video now as a new person, though, is like part of why that's the best video to us is because we already saw the original so many times. But I actually sort of do feel sad that they never saw the original, because if you actually didn't see it with any of the like modern YouTube comedic sound effects, it's just as funny. Like, it's really awkward. Like, you actually think he's played those up because he's put like those like by the way, that actually is what like Korean fucking comedy shows are like as well. They put those silly sounds in, like you would almost think like he just made it seem weird, but actually it's just as weird in the real version. Like, take the editing out, it's really weird. Like, they do just nervously off like and you're like, oh, this is so cringe. It's so cringe. It's also mad because they became champions, like double champions right after that. Were really famous players.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. All right. I thought next we could do some famous hotshot clips. So accidentally, Thorin, this is turning into why no one watches the LCS anymore, because all of these clips that we're showing were very famous at the time and really drove fandom. And part of it was the awkwardness and hilariousness of these interviews and of the player personalities. And the other one was streaming, because people like Hotshot were massive streamers, 20, 30,000 concurrent viewers back in the day.
People don't know. Essentially, Hotshot was Ninja of his day. Like, that was the first way I was even introduced to League, dude. I think someone just said, like, this is the biggest streamer in the world. He streams League of Legends or something.
Yeah. So this is a very famous clip of him raging for absolutely no reason that really shows why people liked Hotshot.
It's mad how bad the game looks now, isn't it? So bad. But look what that golem looks like, dude. I mean, the blue buff or whatever.
Yeah, this was before. This is before they even redid the art on the map. But yeah, this was the original League of Legends. And I love this because the Nunu gives him the blue buff as Swain in the top lane, and then he just completely loses his shit by walking into a
that fucking bird is like something out of a SNES game, like Castlevania or something. Look at that shit. It's so whack. Look.
What is he doing? Why, Nunu? Why?
By the way,
why?
What? He's just putting a ward.
Why? I'm ripping out my hair! Holy shit!
So he's holding it in. He's holding in what he really wants to say. He still hits that word, because remember, guys, this is from like 2011 or something, I think. So, like, to be fair, it was a different world.
And then the rage typing begins. Holy fuck, you are bad. Like, not bad, but mega bad.
Except here's what's sad. This is how you know Hotshot was always a really cool guy, because this is his version of being toxic. Dude, all he's doing is just typing like you are really, really bad. Like, mate, I type way shit worse than that shit my entire life. What are you talking about? That's actually pretty restrained, to be fair. Fair play for 2011 or whatever. That's pretty good.
But yeah, the Nunu clip guys, obviously super famous. One of the funnier moments, especially because the Nunu really wasn't doing anything wrong.
No. Just happened to be in the vicinity, right?
So he was handing over the blue buff, and then let me add it again real quick here, guys. He was handing over the blue buff, and then motioned towards the top side, and he thought that he was coming up, and then Nunu just walked away.
Like, essentially,
he all-ins, and Nunu goes the other way downriver.
How is Nunu supposed to know that Fiddlesticks is there, by the way? You know what I mean? Isn't that just a really good Fiddlesticks guy? Am I missing something?
I'm ripping out my hair! Holy shit!
But here's the thing, though. In a way, that's also why Hotshot's relatable, because even though he was like the biggest streamer in the world, and here's what you guys won't know: when I say he's like ninja of his day, even appropriately paid for his day, like used to get mad money for CPM back then.
Yeah.
People like Hotshot were on the best deals. They would stream and have 30K concurrents. And here's the thing: back then, Monty, they actually understood what the modern day streamer doesn't. You press the ad button. They would fucking press that ad button, mate. So they were making insane money, right?
Yeah.
So to be fair, like actually, like I say, that's somewhat restrained. And what I can relate to there is that is just one of the reasons I've always said it's not that toxic people play League. League makes you toxic, because when you play the game, I do it myself. Like, if I was watching a VOD, I would never like bitch at the jungle about almost anything. But if he's like vaguely in my vicinity, I do like expect him to like TF ult behind me to like instantly shield me from some shit. Like I do that as well. Everyone does. It's like human nature. It's like, where were you, jungler? What the fuck are you doing? Because really, you just man it yourself, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Fuck this guy.
It's always easier to take it out of the jungler, though. All right.
Even though when you play jungle yourself, it's the worst feeling.
No, it is the worst. You know, I play jungle. I play jungle, and they're like, "Why aren't you ganking my lane?" And I'm like, "Did you see me get 3 kills in Dragon on the opposite side of the map? That's where I was top laner. Like, I'm sorry you died one time, but I was actually winning the game for us." Let's go to the next one. This is a very famous interview with about Hotshot. So Tamat used to be a community manager at Riot. So this is a Riot employee doing an interview from the season 1 World Finals, I believe. Yep. And it's with Skara, who people now know is a streamer, but used to be a professional League of Legends player. Or is Skara in here? No, it's St. Vicious. Sorry.
Knuckle match. I'm here
this
with
is
the
the
Victors
Zan guy.
and the other team. The team
Oh,
representatives from
yeah, this was Saint. You're right, Saint. You're right. Yeah.
It's with Saint. But I like how Tamat says, "I'm with the other team," because he forgot their name.
The Victors and the other team. The team representatives from
It's because if
CLG
people don't know, they
and
weren't
Zan, we're gonna
famous
do
the
some
other
quick
team. Like, there
introductions
was
here.
no
What's
Asians. I
your
think they're
name
from
and
like
the champion that you
Singapore
play
or
this game?
something, or maybe
Huh?
Vietnam.
Yeah.
Or something.
Your name and the
It was a Southeast Asian
champion that you
team.
play this game.
Some country
Radion
around there.
6870.
And which champion did you play?
Trundle.
Awesome. So going into this game, do you think the bans and the
I love
picks
these
could have
hard
gone a little bit
accents as
better?
well, by the way.
We should have definitely banned the Hotshot Nidali GG. It's basically it kicked my brother in the ass. My brother was playing the Lee Sin. So I basically have to spend like even more time trying to help the lane. So I became very under level.
What was the most
That's
difficult
the
thing
end of
about
the clip,
overcoming
basically. It's
that
just for
middle
that
leg?
line there, basically. Yeah, basically,
Niddly
those
GG
all
kicked
became
my brother in the ass.
Yeah, those all became their own like memes. If you don't know. Like, kicked my brother in the ass was one. One was like he picked a Lee singer, which people would all put like singer as almost like a singer. But yeah, those were all like classic memes back in the day. By the way, if people don't know, here's another reason, Monty, as to why this shit is so like legendary within deep lore of League. It's because that also, if you remember, was how Reddit back in the day used to function. Is people would just spam like catchphrases that like vaguely related to the topic, and that would just be the most upvoted thing every time. But like YouTube comments used to be like that, whereas now like the algo works differently. It's all like arguing or whatever the fuck. But it actually did used to just work like that. Like essentially, it was just like crowdsourcing the funniest line or something, you know. Yeah, and those were all repeated a million times as copy.
Oh yeah, I mean and also because Hotshot was a famous Niddly player. Whenever you played it, he just became People just refer to him as
Also,
Hotshot
by the
in
way,
HBT.
skip back to the beginning of the interview, because here's the crazy thing, dude. You know that thing where, like, for example, Sir Scoots to me always seemed old, but then when I see him in like a picture from like 15 years ago, I'm like, holy shit, he looks all right there. And it was just because he was older than me. He always seemed old, right, dude? When they show at the beginning of this, Sid Vicious, go back.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Sid always seemed like he was like looked older. Watch how young he looks here. This will blow your mind. Dude, look how young he is here. What the hell? Didn't Sid always seem like he was like, looked like 32 or something?
That's
like,
true.
Dude, he looks so young on this, isn't he? He always seemed like he was like a grumpy old man to me.
Well, this was 2011, so
That's
to be fair,
wild,
it was a long time ago. All right, we're going to go to the next clip. This one's longer, guys, okay? This one took some digging up from me. It turns out that they have deleted or privated all versions of this on YouTube. And so I had to go to Twitch in order to find the original broadcast from 2013. So we have to start with the fact that you guys might not even know what Heroes of Newerth is, which is, it was a MOBA that was released about the same time of League of Legends. Many people, I should say, thought it was a better game than League of Legends. But crucially, it was sold in it was $50 to buy the game, whereas League of Legends was free to play. And that was one of the big reasons why League took off as a smaller MOBA instead of Heroes of Newerth, which is also called Han. So what this is, now you have to remember the year that this takes place. So this is 2013. This is the year that the League of Legends World Finals were in the Staples Center. Okay, so you have to compare the scale of what was going on with League versus this was their 2013 Han Tour Grand Finals. This is like the biggest game of the year for Heroes of Newerth. And they had, it takes place in the Palms hotel in Las Vegas in what they called the Hardwood Suite, which still exists. You can look this up. I did. And it's like a suite in Vegas with a basketball court in it. And this is possibly the most cringe piece of esports content to really ever exist. And it goes for a long time, and it keeps getting more cringe, guys.
Like, here's the analogy. This is a perfect pop culture analogy. You know, if you ever watch a video or like a documentary about the early days of a classic band like Metallica or Nirvana or something, and obviously they all start in those like sleazy clubs or like Skid Row or whatever, where it's like really bad lighting and stuff. That's what this looks like. Like, this looks like esports took 100 years like baseball, and this is like 1930 or something.
Yeah,
it's like a really
remember
bad
that
era.
if this had happened in
really
2005, it would be a different story. But this happened in 2013 while like League was at the Staples Center. And so this is the best Han had to offer. Prepare yourselves. Oh,
this is amazing as well.
Hold on, let me get back up there. So the music just stops here for a while. All right, we're almost there.
I can stop already. That's already
so
bad.
You can literally hear the producer yelling at him in the background.
I know,
because they put the camera on him and the producer is still talking to him.
And by the way,
hello and like, welcome.
He's doing something like that. You know, he's already wilding at the beginning. Go on.
To Las Vegas. Hello and welcome. To Las Vegas. We're standing here in the Hardwood Suite in the Palms Casino to present to you a tournament of epic proportions. And I'm your host, Ace JR. After 16 grueling weeks and 8 hard-fought battles
just stop
and
already.
cycles of competition.
Kill me now. Kill me now.
4 teams, Titanus teams, have proven themselves worthy.
Titanus. He made his own word
For the one and only
use
title
Titanic,
of Han Tour Grand Finals champion. So, without further ado, let me introduce to you 2 titans of another sort, the masters of their craft, aka the casters. We have Emperor and.
First of all, you can't just let our masters of their calf just roll off like that. Like, I'm just going to keep going, fuck it. And then also, it's the way he's obviously so nervous, right? And he's just trying to hit the line. So then why put in all the like mustard of like the champions? Like, it's, the whole tonality of this is so off in the piss.
I also just love the shot. It's almost like Napoleon Dynamite-esque in its awkwardness. Where it's like, why is he so small? Why is there only one camera that's just on him? Just the unflinching eye of God this entire time. It's just deeply uncomfortable. I also like how they backlit all the monitors, so the shadows on the wall are just chairs and computer monitors.
And breaky. Hey!
And no, guys, this is not a mistake. They literally are muted right now. So they just muted the casters on the throw. So you can hear the music. And this goes on for a while, by the way.
Oh, really? Before they realize.
It just gets more and more awkward.
So I can't lie, Monty. I have done events in CS. Even at times like ESL events where, like, for real, we find out you were muted the whole segment. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? You made like some, it's always when you made some god tier point as well, like broke some shit down. And like, you muted that whole segment. Like, the thing with me as well is I don't take that easy, man. I go fucking mental.
I can't confirm. You do go mental. Okay, so now they're finally unmuted. So I just love that they tried to do the epic intro and then like pump it up. He fucks it up magnificently, and then he immediately throws, and the casters are muted.
Obviously, again, a lot of money's on the line.
This board actually doesn't look too bad. This looks like an FGC event. Like it's not.
The only problem with this part here is this.
All the way through every single season.
They'd have been better both going for the Emperors. Look, the problem with the breaking CPK guy is he does just look like a kid in like his dad's fucking outfit.
He looks like an accountant from 1993.
Put it this way, basically, he would be played by like fucking like Seth Rogen in a movie or something like that. Like he's not the problem. That like here's the thing. I understand why if you're upgrading off that era, people want to go like fashion style on the broadcast. I do still think you should just go with a really smart suit though. His just doesn't look smart enough. It looks very dated in that sense.
Yeah, also the beige shirt of that tie are tragic. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, guys, because we don't need to listen to all of this.
Well, I'm here to introduce the
in
four
the dark
teams qualified for this event. And I'm going to start with the wildcard team. And that is the one and only Lions Esports Club. Starting off with the team, they're led by their captain and jungle player, Handskin.
Oh, Handskin. I'm out. He's out of all of it. Look at this shit. Look at this. This is what I meant about the Metallica gig or something. Like a welcome to the stage, Metallica.
We got the suicide roll. Krebson!
Look at this shit.
I love the slow, awkward pan of just a camera on a tripod that's like being slowly like jerked along.
After that, playing some hard carry is Flensmeister.
Like the joke about this is like some fucking Bigfoot footage. You can't even confirm they were actually ever there. No one knows. It's just a rumor. You know what I mean? Look at this shit. Like I can't see it.
Esports.
Yeah. Like
on the solo ganker roll, we got Super KGE.
By the way, that's what they must call jungle in that game, Super Ganker Roll. Really?
Well, they had a suicide roll too.
And last but not least, on support,
I got my popcorn for this.
Obviously, the joke there, Monty, is Tactical used to be a big Hon player. He played the suicide role quite often, believe it or not.
That'll round it out for your Lions Esports Club. Good luck, guys.
By the way, there's also another clue here that Hon sucks. Is that Lions was like a medium-sized CS 1.6 team or something, and in no other games I'm aware of. But they're like got one of the world championship teams in Hon. So. Also, why did you do that at the end? Why did you just put that sauce?
I had to keep playing the woo 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 because it's too good.
All right, next up, and the third seed, we have none other than Complexity Gaming, led by the captain and drafter, B-Kid.
Okay.
I like how they have a drafter as a role.
Here's the thing, I can't lie. I know.
All right,
I can't lie
though.
though.
Love him.
When I watch
the suicide roll,
I do
it's
sort of
Moon
realize why people think
Meander.
we should get rid of aliases in esports. Because, by the way, that guy plays in Dota 2 if they don't know. But yeah, because the problem is when you're in esports, the name sounds cool. But if you're not in esports, every one of these names sounds
that's the part of the charm, though.
Stop playing support, Bronzy.
And the way this guy's saying it isn't helping. It isn't helping, is it? Why did they all come in like the Undertaker's intro? It's like, it's going through this phone.
Dude, I love how it's just the same tone and voice every time. He doesn't vary it at all.
That talk. Riser.
Every single person with the same thing, I know. It's not even just anything different.
I like how it's just
and
like
last but not least, on hard
dudes
carry,
wandering through some orange smoke.
Yeah. There we go. All right, let's give it up one more time for Complexity Gaming.
Who's giving it up? There's no crowd. There's no, it's just him going, woo, woo, woo. Let's give it up, woo, woo, woo.
Good luck.
Oh, man. Why is he like a one-man Def Jam crowd from the 90s? Like,
computers.
woo, woo, yeah.
All right, next up, placing in second seed, we have X Trademark Esports. Led by the one and only captain in jungle role, Trademark Esports.
This is like some Blair Witch footage or something, like just a random ghostly image visage just comes out of the shadows for 1 second. A nervous man, Sam out of fucking Game of Thrones, like, you only had one job. You only had one job. That's meant with it. That's so ominous.
That's the true face of esports suffering right there.
This is like some David Lynch Lost Highway shit. Yeah, this is out there. Look at it. So it just came up.
Led by the one and only captain
and
in
it just
jungle
disappears
role,
as fast as it comes.
mate, did he just say that? He goes, in the one and only jungle role, my nuts. Just let him have that name, my nuts, yeah.
Esports. Led by the one and only captain in jungle role, my nuts.
I love esports, man.
Dude, that's like something out of
never
Bart Simpson on
changes.
The Simpsons, you know, like, oh, I need a man to hug and kiss. A man to hug and kiss.
On the hard carry role, we have Noob G.
I also appreciate the idea that the game developer allows a role to be called the hard carry role.
Or the suicide role.
I know, the game is so badly designed.
Bitsky.
What's your job? I have to hard carry all these guys. And the game's designed that way.
All right, playing the solo lane.
Again.
Limp.
Yeah, the music came back for the next intro.
Can't lie, this music is hype though.
It's actually one of the better parts of this.
And last but not least, in the suicide role, Zai.
Oh, it's the guy from DotA 2. The one who's from Evil Geniuses. I think it is.
So this is XTDM.
I used to play back in the day, maybe. Okay.
Good luck, guys.
Fair enough. Okay.
You're learning about esports history from the On Tour final intro from 2013.
Right, and in the first seed,
no idea if they're
none other than Stay Green, led by their captain, drafter, and mid player, Swindle Melons.
Oh, that's the guy who became Kyle, who was on DotA 2.
Oh, really?
Right, and his brother, play support, Z-Freak.
Because what people don't know is, as well as League having the freemium thing,
in the
there's also that
role, we have Kazoo with the Cthulhu.
Oh, what's going on?
Oh, it's, the video is
position,
the video itself was lagged on Twitch.
My lord,
should fix itself.
And last but not least, the carry role, Slicks.
I like how they turned the lights on the basketball arena suddenly as well.
Stay green.
Like, they totally just randomly changed the vibe by switching the lights on.
That's also so insane. Oh my God, Monty. Here's what's
all right. That is it for the introductions.
I genuinely just thought earlier in the video, like they just had some problem with the lighting and they couldn't. They had lighting the whole time. They actually, out of choice, put him in the shot.
No,
that was a choice for ambience. They have the
lighting from the basketball room, right? So I think they turned it on because it was just too dark with the lighting. They actually.
Why didn't they have that from the beginning? It's my point. Like they could have just done that from the beginning. Apparently, they could have just had it lit like this.
I'm very excited for this event to start. I can't wait to see the first game. I'm gonna pass it back to Breaky and Emperor so they can give you a summary of what's gonna come in the first match. So here you go, Breaky.
Possibly the best throw of all time.
There we go. Okay, hello, welcome.
They don't even know they're on.
Anyways, obviously, right
that's
there.
That's going to be it, right? Showing that's the end.
With the players arriving
I think that's most of the cringe stuff. Yeah.
Then we'll get back.
Because it was just the intros, as I remember. It was mainly like the intro, then people coming out of their players. The thing with that as well is, though, I won't lie, what people won't know is even some of the biggest, most famous and popular, and the best actual broadcast talent in the world, I've seen even the best of them, Monty, when you're about to go live on like the major final and you look across the desk and their knees just going, or their hands like, now, here's the thing, because they're professionals, you know, when the light comes on, they settle, they get into camp, and you wouldn't notice if you're a fan, but like people don't know, like a lot of people would get nervous like that. It's not as easy as you think.
All right, let's go back to League of Legends. We have an all-time great interview here with Double Lift interviewing a Caitlyn cosplayer.
Oh, and by the way, here's the deep law though. which is, I believe it was implied that he did actually go on like a date with this girl later after this because of this video and like the scenario or whatever. But I think it was one of those ones where she was like already adjacent or in league as a cosplayer. And so like, I think it was like they just briefly were like involved. And then after that, she wasn't, because it was one of those ones where people would just reference it a million times on Reddit. I was like, so anyway, watch this actually in theory goes somewhere is my point. So let's see now, like a Chris Nolan intro there.
I know things about this because I coached CLG. I am not going to
like that was
I am not going to make public the things I know about this video because I'm not going to do double lift like that. But we can just enjoy the video.
Yeah. There you go. I gave you some breadcrumbs.
Hey guys, Travis here on day 2 of PAX 2013, joined by Double Lift, who doesn't know when the interview is about to start, and Nian back here. How's it going? You have anything you want to say at the start of this?
So I was coaching. I was coach of
cool.
CLG
Anyway,
when this event took place at MLGA.
This is our interview about Double Lift and me.
That was too close, dude. That was too close.
Wait, we've done that before.
Yeah, I know, but that was just too much. I couldn't handle it. Only at the end of an interview can I do that.
All right, we'll save that for later. Anyway, so you are here at PAX, and you just won. Congratulations, Double Lift. You just won.
Yeah, first time in a while.
This is PAX, sorry.
Yeah. So you're not going to Worlds?
No, that's pretty lame, though.
So I didn't have a chance to interview you after that. So why do you think you guys lost to TSM?
Well, first I want to say we practiced the most we've ever practiced for the 2 weeks, and like I think we got a lot better. And when time came to actually crunch time to play the match, we choked hella hard. Dude, this mic is so close to me. Is it supposed to be this close?
Yeah, because it's loud in here.
Oh, okay, I got it. Anyways, so
have you ever noticed that Double Lift has oddly delicate hands?
Really fucking bad. Like, you guys don't even understand. We were playing like gods in scrims, but even though we choked, I think TSM's a better team. And just the way that they approach the game is a lot more aggressive than us, and they clearly deserve to represent NA over us. And it's hard for some people to admit that, but I'll just go and say, yeah, they're a better team. I'm just really sad because I couldn't imagine myself not playing at Worlds. Even though it sounds hella cocky, I don't think any other AD in NA has outperformed me over the season. Even though I have a bad week here and there, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Double Lift sucks." Look, he had a really shitty week. Blah blah blah. If you just look at the course of season 3, I've outperformed every North American AD carry, and but even though I understand that and blah blah blah, it's a team game. So obviously Froggen's not going to Worlds. He's amazing. Mad Life could potentially not be going to Worlds. He's amazing. There's all these amazing players. It's just one good player does not make
that's all God, so, not mine.
It's hard for me to accept
Listen
that.
to what your God is saying about Froggen.
The best teams will go, and we're not top 3 right now.
I want you to know that whenever you said it's really bad that didn't happen, my video producer wins because he has to censor every time you use a cuss word.
Oh really? Sorry, dude.
Swore there.
You don't have to censor everyone.
Dude, he just swore himself.
So we're here at PAX. Have you met any cool
He's just trying to be cool, like Double Lift.
Yeah. Pretty much all my fans are pretty cool, minus the ones who they'll just kind of walk up and they'll shove something. If they anyone who just has the time to talk to me and be like, hey, I'm your big fan, blah blah blah. I make some small talk and I'm down to hear what people have to say. It's especially cool when people are like, wow, you're the reason I got into playing AD carry.
Hey, I'm your big fan.
Watching streams.
I like that.
Because that's awesome that I'm a good influence on some people.
Not narcissistic, course.
He's a good influence on some people. Did you know that? Double Lift was he's really helping out the kids with their behavior.
Congratulations, sir. You're fantastic. Yeah, so you were able to beat Curse in a sequel to last year's PAX. Hello again, Ian.
What the hell?
Anyway, so
How can you tell?
Guys, just sense your presence.
Interesting.
So anyway,
I wonder why people like XQC and these cringe streamers these days. But then I just remember that League of Legends used to be 100% this, and people liked it back then too. So it turns out what people like hasn't changed.
I hate the end so
it's
much.
just that esports became less cringe, which then tanked its popularity.
People are so stupid. If you put this on Twitch now, they would all think it's hilarious that the Nian guy just basically ruined this interview right now and came in. And for the sake of what essentially, look, it's okay as a 1-second gag. You pop up and then you go. That's it. You did your one thing, and then you go. No, he actually just literally made them basically tell him to sort of fuck off after doing some shit back and forth. And then that, no joke, as you saw there, it actually made Travis lose his track of where he was in his question. Unsurprisingly, by the way, someone's actually interrupting the interview. And then all of that, right? For what? Like, just like, why are you doing? By the way, that's like anti-media training. You're actually fucking up the star players' fucking interview after we lost, bro. Like, this is at least the exposure we're gonna get, and you're just ruining the interview. Like, what? Like, mate, this is how silly like pros were back then. It's what I was complaining about the other day, but even, back then they were even worse, mate. They thought they never had to do any media. They all just paid for itself, didn't they? They were all in
sure. And then you guys beat them again. So tell me about those games.
Well, I honestly thought we played pretty well against TSM, despite losing. Overall,
absolutely false.
TSM just outplayed us. We didn't play that bad. And
this is the game where Charleston did the fucking flash
soda against Curse. We played really well against TSM.
I don't recall
I think
that
we
was
played
this game.
just okay against Curse, but Curse is the worst team by far.
This was like
in
not
by far,
right?
just by like
it was
so
Worlds qualifiers, so it was the
just ended up
playoffs, I
playing
think.
them,
It was
and
playoffs
I guess
for LCS.
outpacing them because their picks seemed really off.
He did that
Super
flash
off.
soda ult.
Very good. Well, you managed to do that. What are you guys planning on doing now?
Well, now that we made it into Season 4 and avoided relegations again, I'm just gonna, I don't know, like, I did everything I could to make sure that we went to Worlds, you know, but it sucks that we didn't.
The answer is he goes on the analyst desk with me for every game of the World
Championship. I'm really burnt out of
Championship.
League right now, like
with
super
Crepo.
burnt out. I can't.
You just practice so much.
Yeah, like I did get a break between splits because I was doing All Stars, and it's just like practice, 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 improve, and you know, like in the last like 6 months, I had a couple weeks where I would just choke and play like trash, but I really think I need a break and just like get my mind off League because 24/7, I'm just practicing. I'm like in custom games like CSing against bots. I'm like thinking about League all day, every day, and it's like really suffocating.
Yeah, I mean, we should figure something out. Well, you should just meet a bunch of fans here. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I like walking around PAX and just interacting with my fans, actually.
All right, here we go.
Like,
Here's the really
I
awkward part.
Don't have anything to do if I'm not going to some important thing. It's really relaxing and cool.
Have you seen any good cosplay here?
Yeah. Some.
Some? Like what?
Just some. I don't know. I can't really think. Like I don't know.
Is there anything in particular?
No, screw you, Travis.
I need you to hold this microphone really quick. Entertain the crowd.
No, wait a second. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. We're not doing this. We are not doing this.
Hold this microphone.
We're not doing this.
It's so cringe already.
So here we go. So you're cosplaying here?
Yeah, I am.
What are you cosplaying?
Officer Caitlin.
Are you a big fan of Officer Caitlin Double Lift, that skin?
I don't even play Caitlin, Travis. Yeah. What's a Caitlin?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. It's cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what's your name?
Daphne.
Daphne? Mm-hmm. All right. Do you know Peter?
You kind of, no, really.
You don't know who he is?
Yeah, I do know.
Oh, okay.
Double Lift.
Double Lift, yeah. Double Lift, this is Daphne.
What's up?
I like that there's alliteration there, Double Lift and Daphne. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. You're not in fucking Saved by the Bell,
You
mate.
just make every interview.
Who do you think he is? Like,
I already hate my life when I'm here.
Fucking AC Slater from
It's
Saved by
not
the
you, it's him.
Bell. Stop, bitch.
Well, I mean, yeah,
So
I hope not,
ridiculous,
because
isn't
that's
it?
kind of insulting to say Daphne, right?
Yeah, no, the cosplay is good. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you think of Double Lift as an AD carry?
He's good. He's pretty good. Yeah.
He's pretty good, yeah. What do you think of Daphne?
Understatement, like, come on, dude. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
He thinks it's an understatement.
Daphne's pretty good too. I've never seen her play, but I could tell.
Oh, what are you talking about, Lord
no.
Sim? What are you talking about?
Do you play a lot of
Hey, what?
Caitlin?
I've never seen you play.
Actually,
But you know
I
what?
used
I'll
to
pull this
main
out my
her,
ass.
but that was before ranked games.
I see
So
pretty in
What do you
real
mean now?
life.
Vayne.
Double is just irresistible
Oh,
to
Double
women,
Lift,
you
you
know?
play Vayne, don't you?
Look at this.
No.
No, never.
Double is just
Never Vayne
choking so
or
hard in
Caitlin?
this interview.
No,
right now, by the
wait.
way.
I think those are somebody else's channel. No, yeah.
Well, since you don't play Vayne, maybe Daphne, would you teach him how to play Vayne?
Oh, I'm okay with Vayne. Just not.
You're okay?
Not that good. Great.
Well, he doesn't even play her, so maybe you could just give him lessons, right?
No, it's okay.
No, you don't want to? Okay.
There's like OkCupid, there's like Match.com, and then there's Travis Gafford, the face of esports, like right here. It's happening right now on GameSpot.
Yeah. Exactly, on GameSpot.
I do appreciate how Double Lift has the
Double Lift, you have a lot
situational
of free
awareness
time
to
over the
make
next
fun of
couple days,
him,
right?
himself in this
You're leaving on
interview in that
Monday?
situation.
Yeah, I think I leave on like Tuesday or maybe a Monday night. I don't know.
Daphne, when are you leaving PAX? Are you live in Seattle?
I live in
Come
Seattle.
on.
Yeah, you live in Seattle? So you're around for the next couple of days, right? Yeah. Right. Actually, Peter,
Suck my dick, Travis.
you have some free time after.
Probably
this
not the
interview,
line
right?
I'd
You
drop
have to
in
go do another interview and then
this scenario personally, but you know.
Daphne, would you be interested
I mean, for
in
start
perhaps,
off,
showing Double Lift?
You may
like,
be
have you been
indicating
around
certain
PAX
other
at all?
preferences.
You know, like someone like me,
Not-
for example,
well,
who doesn't like
actually,
Double Lift,
then
could
we
essentially
can
take
all
that
in the
do
league
it.
area.
Yeah.
and just delete
So
the word
maybe
Travis.
you guys could go check out like
Just
the
have him just look at a
together,
woman
yeah?
and just go, suck my dick.
Would you be willing to do that?
If he's okay with it.
That's media.
Are you okay with
You don't
that?
need a degree in
I mean,
media
she's
to
a
do that
fan.
one.
I'm
I
really
put
sorry
the
about
stand
this,
ovation
Daphne.
behind it as well.
This you don't deserve this.
Yeah. So you're a fan. Like she's a fan. She wants to show you around the expo. Would you be willing to do that?
I hate you so much, dude.
Yes or no?
That's at least funny. I'll give him credit. That's funny at least.
Like, I'm down. Like whatever. If I don't have anything to do.
So Daphne, Double Lift is going to show you, or you're going to show Double Lift around the show floor or whatever. You guys going to check it out together. Is that cool?
Okay.
Okay, cool. Fantastic. All right. So Double Lift, do you have any shout-outs, plugs, anything you want to say to sponsors at the end of this interview?
Yeah, dude. Does GameSpot have any like competitors?
I think he shouts me out now.
Anyway,
Watch.
check out what are your sponsors?
I think he shouts me out.
Well, basically just like alternative websites to GameSpot. You know, maybe check out some of Thorin's stuff.
Hey,
there you go. Shout out to my sponsors, Razer, X.
By the way, that's actually decent.
TV,
ended up becoming part of On Gamers, which was owned by GameSpot.
Also, just like
wasn't that long
to my
after this,
fans,
actually. It was like
and
3
to
months.
TLG fans, like I'm really sorry that we just suck. Obviously, like yeah, exactly. We just suck. We worked super hard.
Oh, you can cut the
obviously
interview
we
off.
just couldn't deliver.
It's all the
TSM played
cringe
better than
now.
us.
The rest of it's just
So
the end of the
I'm just
video.
glad we're done
All right.
relegation.
Thing is, though, people don't know the whole joke back then. It's like, by the way, I wasn't like a big media personality back then. He just did that joke there just to rib Travis. Because if you don't know Travis, here's what's funny about his personality. On camera, he's really good at acting like he doesn't care and that just rolls off like, like water off a duck's back money. But he does actually care. He actually does mildly annoy him that Double Lift just shouted me out at the end of his interview.
Oh, it does, for sure.
Oh, fucking right, shut up and shut up. And the only way it could be better if he just said Richard Lewis afterwards. So, like, that's why that's not even about me, that clip is. It's just Double Lift fucking with Travis. So, fair play. I thought it was funny.
All right, we'll go back to a pre-LCS classic, which is going to be Elements versus Saint Vicious. So we have to explain what's going on. So this was Team Curse that eventually became Team Liquid, and they were in the very early days of League of Legends. And this takes place in San Francisco. So I think it was like 2011 or 2012 maybe.
I thought this is when they lived in Vegas.
No, this is San Francisco.
Okay.
Because they were in the owner of Curse's like San Francisco like penthouse apartment or whatever that they were living in at the time. I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly why. But the bright idea that they had was to put cameras in all of the rooms and live stream their house 24/7.
Basically, like a reality series type thing,
You can literally just tune into the individual stream. So this is captured from a stream in their practice room and became a very hilarious argument between Elements, who was the support player, and Saint Vicious, who is the jungler.
Oh, and by the way, this was actually like a good gimmick at the time, because since streaming was popping off, everyone loved all this like extra content that you could have. So like, actually, it sounds like a stupid idea now, but this actually was a good concept, except for the fact obviously you'd get cancelled for half the shit if it was out today. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, and so this also created like a bunch of clips besides this one, but this is the most famous one, basically.
Yes.
And you're never gonna win. Like, I have to tell you your lanes.
So this is Saint,
like, I have to tell
on the
you
right, standing up.
There was There was a time when I have to tell you to peel off. I have to tell you.
Well, this is when Saint's drunk as well, by the way. This is when he'd be like drinking some wine cool or something.
Oh yeah, he famously drank a lot of boxed wine.
Yeah, that was it, exactly.
That's a team thing, no, it is not. That's your job, is to know this. Imagine if I didn't have to tell you this.
Go to bed. You're making it clear yourself, bro.
No, absolutely fine.
You should talk about this tomorrow when you're not.
I will be. I decided this before I drank. You don't have the drive to win.
That's a hilarious thing to say, by the way, because he doesn't even deny he's drunk. He just goes, "Hey, I decided that before I got drunk."
No, I will get Locust. Don't even laugh.
There you go.
You laugh now. Come on.
I like this as theatrical. I like this. He's sort of
It's actually very good.
Also, dude, just fucking chillax. I hear what you're saying.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed because we will not play season 2.
You're pissed because you're drunk?
No.
We can have a
I thought about this.
I didn't realize what a good job Elements did in this video. He's like, he could be played by like Jeremy Piven in the movie. He's winning this so far.
Yeah, I mean, he basically is just like, go to bed, like stop.
We can do that off stream when you're not drunk. And
No, I thought about this before I ever started drinking.
You probably should have done it before you started drinking.
That's a good line, by the way. You should have written it down before you started drinking. That's actually a good line. And if you remember the real comedy in this, because I remember Dom always brings it up, is the real punchline that tells you how drunk Saint is Saint says as like an ultimatum to Elements, something like I'll get Locust in here right now.
Yes.
And if you remember, famously the meme within League at the time was that like it was one of those scenarios where, because of how young the game was, when when Locust was on Dignitas with Dom and them, supposedly what happened was it was only when they actually got to the lands, they were like, wait a minute, this guy is garbage. Like, why is he on our team? Because, you know, back in the day, like, it's not like you're all spectating each other and stuff. You just play the game and you hope people are good or whatever. And so, but the joke is that's how drunk Saint is, that he's sort of like making a threat that has like no teeth to it at all. It's like basically just like being like, oh, get fucking tactical in here, double lift, I'll replace you now. Like, go on. Oh my God, it's 11 minutes long.
The team, if you don't fucking start taking this serious.
Let's get spicy soon.
I want to win this tournament. And you don't take it serious.
You're not even worth talking to right now.
Because you don't take it serious.
You're not worth talking to, dude.
I'm sober enough to take this.
You're not.
Yes, I am.
You're not.
You really think so?
No, I don't.
You laugh at me all you want, but I'm gonna get
I'm
liquid
laughing
on
at
this.
you because...
Dude, hold on. Who do you think liquid trusts more than you or me?
I don't know.
Oh, now he's talking about getting him caught. Because when he says liquid, he means the owner of Curse that people don't know. Well, the team owner, at least, manager or whatever.
We haven't run shit with you, though.
Because you are a problem.
Why is this, by the way, like that scene out of fucking Top Gun where they're in that locker like, yeah, maybe I am dangerous. You're a problem and you can't accept it. You need your wings taken away from you, Maverick. It's the same scene, it's the same macho energy.
I had to take it out, and I showed you the aftermood, and I showed you the chat. I showed you the chat, but do you agree that you're a better player because of it?
Wait, what?
Do you think you're a better player because of it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
This is amazing, by the way, because if you don't know what he's doing now, he's like getting this player. I can't tell if it's Nijaki or someone. He's just getting some other player. He's sort of telling him.
I think it's Nijaki, yeah.
Like some fucked up abusive father. Like, yeah, and I beat you as well, didn't I? And didn't that make you better? Weren't you good at school? He's like, yeah, Dad, yeah, oh yeah, totally.
Jesus.
And then Saint's just going like, yeah, see, it's all fine what I'm doing here. Like, it's such an uncomfortable vibe in it, this whole room.
No, you don't take criticism. You laugh. You blow it off.
You don't know how to laugh, by the way, now. Around God Emperor Saint. But you're laughing. Stop laughing.
Don't
You're laughing.
I'm not even worth your time.
You're not worth my time right now because you know what? You're just attacking me.
I decide. No, I will attack you all I want.
Me and Cop already had this conversation today, and we've already established what we.
You didn't establish shit because you can't take criticism.
There you go. There you go. Because by the way, at that point, by the way, he's not even talking anymore. Anything you say is just a zinger. Like, well, we established it. You didn't establish shit. You just cared about the scenery like some Al Pacino skit or something. I don't know. Oh yeah.
Hold up for a second.
Establish
that
this.
Game, we picked for the
ridiculous.
we did not pick for the Leon. So we counterpicked ourselves into that lane because
it was a
and
it
was a scrim.
You didn't play accordingly.
No.
And I already admitted
when I said we wanted to advance something, we're like,
Actually, I think it's Westrice in the back.
But you're still not trying.
I think it's Westrice. It looks like it's really blurry, but I think it's Westrice.
Argued into the ground.
Listening to his voice.
You argued in the ground about the boots during the game.
Because it was misunderstood. I already explained to Cop. Why?
But you have played the game for 2 years and you don't even know about the boots.
Dude,
And you argued
just
it.
keep repeating yourself. Like,
because you argued it.
I
That's
didn't
the
argue
problem.
it because it was my opinion.
You
Because
argued
it's a thing between
You
me and
argued
Cop.
the boots.
I did because that was my reasoning.
That
was
is
my
the problem.
reasoning at the time. I already admitted I was wrong. Me and
But
Cop
guess
talked
what?
about
You
it,
just
we went
lost the
back
fucking
to
season 2 championship because you argued every time.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? He goes, well, guess what? You just lost the season 2 world championship because what you just did there. I love it. I love that. What I love right now is that Sid is in such a dog shit mood that anything Element says is going to be wrong. It's just like, everything you say is wrong. Like that thing that I said the other day about you, Monty, where all you did is reveal like some information you heard, and then Reddit's whole shit is like, even though they have no info themselves, they're like, right, in what way is this wrong though? How can we all agree that Monty is wrong though? Like, no matter what, that's why I said if you said 2 + 2 = 4, they would all just start like, right, we all agree the premise is it must be 5, yeah. Like, that's just when they start the conversation.
Exactly.
I know, like,
I don't know how many times I have to be right.
I know.
And which was this the Reddit thread about the caster rates or
yes,
yeah,
I think
which is like hilarious because people are like they're so lucky to go travel the world and and oh they're salaried employees. I'm like no, actually almost all of them are freelancers and also like I know you guys are like 18 and think that that's a really cool way to live, but go ask some Counter-Strike casters with children if they want to be on the road 200 days a year. Like, come on.
Name one. Name one that I've not admitted first.
I don't know. I don't fucking keep it in my back.
Westrice, you got anything?
In my back pocket.
Oh, it is Westrice. Okay, I was right.
Ever been stubborn about being wrong? And
something that you haven't admitted
first, too. Cop, you got anything?
I'm just trying to play a game, okay?
No, but you gotta leave me out of the
Guys, like, just leave me alone.
He's just me in that scenario, mate. Like,
smart enough
leave me
to
out,
know,
y'all
because I've been
bullshit.
playing this game
I'm playing the
since
game, mate.
beta,
Fuck you.
and you've been playing this game since beta, and you should know better. And that's the difference between a great.
It's the problem, though. He actually did almost make a good point there,
Since
though.
beta, and you should know better. The lines in this are so
He does
good.
sort of have a good point there, though, which is this. The real thing, if people don't know, that fucked Elements was at the very beginning of the competitive scene, he was actually a top player. That's why those like CLG teams he was on were, with St. Vicious, were like the fucking super teams of like, they were all just the best player at every position. The problem is, though, because he also did like guides and stuff like everyone back then. If people don't know, the problem is his whole shit was that he was supposed to be like the one who knew all the matchups and all the fucking lane. And so his problem was in this kind of a scenario, if you're that guy, essentially like your superpower, you're like Odysseus, you're just supposed to be cunning and always be the smart guy who's always right. The problem is if you're then ever considered not either wrong or perceived to be wrong, your whole identity just falls apart at that point in time. Like, because remember, he wasn't considered like just some elite player, you know, he was just a guy, like I say, who just always understood the game or whatever. So I've noticed when that falls off hard, mate, because players don't respect it, unfortunately.
Yeah, just in the early days of League of Legends too, Elements was always one of my favorite players just socially, because as you can see in this video, I really like Saint too, for what it's worth. I think Saint is very fun to be around. Like really, the hilarious thing is like Saint is like the nicest guy in the universe these days. He's really chill. Like you guys, you can watch him. He's like a TFT streamer for Team Liquid. But Elements was always like very mature and very reasonable, which in like the Reginald double lift early days was a bit rare. So I hung out with him a lot at these parties and had normal human conversations with him.
A great player and a shitty player, as you will be able to admit your mistakes before anybody else. Don't laugh it off, Elements.
You don't even like to laugh. You're in some like Soviet show trial now where you're not even allowed to react. Everything's being controlled.
I know. It's like, stop laughing, Elements. Stop being angry, Elements. Like, what do you want him to do, Saint? What do you want him to do?
Like, this is like one of those American movies where like when the cops are interviewing you, like the criminal's just like, fuck you, and then the cop just punches him in his face. Like, this is abuse. It's just like outrageous treatment.
I already said let's talk about this tomorrow.
No, I don't want to talk about it tomorrow. Because I just said this beforehand when I was sober.
Stop saying that about being sober. Like you're not sober now.
You're not making it better.
I would say the same thing when I'm sober. So what do you got on me? You guys got nothing between all three of you. What have I not been to?
Oh, by the way, he's now just made it a 1v3. Before, it was just him against Elements, and he was just inquiring with him. They just found out now, because he goes, there's nothing between all three of you. It's like, what? Cop, by the way, was just sat there the whole time, just playing, going, and then went, I just want to play the game. And then it's like, well, all three of you tried to come up with something, and you couldn't even get me. It's like, mate, what? I think you're just in a bad mood right now. And as you said, by the way, this isn't even the worst clip from this. I remember they were doing mad shit, Monty. Like, you remember this, like streaming, just having like house parties.
Oh yeah,
just people getting drunk and trying to hook up with people on screen.
Well, I think what's
so mental in it.
I mean, if you go back to this era,
it's like a lawsuit waiting to happen, though. Surely,
you have to remember that some of the most popular content, and I shit you not, guys, and I did try and find this, but it's all, of course, been deleted. Was Saint Vicious used to make girls tier lists, where it was a video tier list of all of the women that were, you know, personalities or YouTube creators or streamers within League of Legends, and he used to make tier lists.
He means, by the way, literally like you would with champions, as in you go like, oh, Annie's got to be top tier. Why the fuck is, you know, fucking what's Lissandra doing in the game? But which is all the women.
I mean, it would be real if you released it today. It would be completely fucking outrageous. Sure. And he is smart to have deleted them, but they were very, very popular. If you I found some actual Reddit threads of the tier list, and all the YouTube links are gone. But luckily, Thorin, we do have some transcriptions. We do have some transcriptions of the tiers so that people didn't have to watch it. So let me just drop this over to you real quick. So as you can see, he had like tier 1 with Rivington at the top, and then a bunch of different women from the scene. And then he had a section, no joke, called Chicks with Dicks that had Loco Doco and I'm a Cutie Pie. And holy shit.
That's so mental.
It's so inappropriate. But this is what League of Legends was 11 years ago.
Because, dude, here's the part that's really crazy about this. This is where I'm gonna have a totally different take to people, but I think they'll be able to listen if they hear the end of it, right? Which is the craziest part of this actually isn't the idea that you just ranked all the women, because in theory, right, the ones that you rank at the top, as long as you don't say anything too weird, in theory, you're paying some sort of a compliment, even though some people might not like it now. The craziest part, Monty, is how many tiers there are on this list, and that he's actually putting motherfuckers like NFL style, like you're at the end of the 4th round of the draft. Like, what? No, that's just like, why? Just leave me off the list. Like, why do I have to be like, you're in the middle of tier 3? Like, that's the insulting part. It's like, holy shit, dude. You really go that deep on the tiers. Like, you have to let them all know that they're that unattracted to you. Like, that's the, because if you don't know, some of the people on that list are just people who are just like in the scene, like, you know, team manager or like fucking journalist or something. And he's just ranking them all like, yeah, you know what, you're sort of a mid tier 4 for me. Like, oh, thanks. Thanks, shit.
No, I mean, it was like outrageous and inflammatory at the time, but it's basically like inconceivable these days. Anyway, he was smart to delete this, and I'm glad that, you know, people can't hold it over him these days, because truly, I think Saint is awesome. So
it's funny because at the time, though, his persona he was sort of like stone.
Oh, he was a dick.
He was just a fucking badass. Wasn't he? Oh my god, he's the fucking
you have to understand that his which is, if you meet him, it's very funny because he's like rather small. And he really is, like, if you go to a party with this guy, just the loveliest human being, and he's so like nice and considerate. He's actually rather quiet as well, but you wouldn't get that from seeing this. But he really was relishing in being kind of like the bad boy of League of Legends and doing all this like slightly transgressive content and like being very aggressive.
Wait. That reminds me, Monty, these are the sort of gems you need to come out in this session, which is, do you remember? That was the whole thing. People forget this, dude. When CLG went to Korea, here's some real deep lore for you guys. When they went in season 2 for those first OGN tournaments, right? Everyone will remember, because this will work with this episode, right? Everyone knows now, like, Doublelift was already big because he was really good. But also, obviously, Hotshot was because of streaming and stuff. But St. Vicious, do you remember, was because they portrayed it exactly like that, Monty. They made it look like he was just drunk every night and that he was like a biker from America. You remember what I mean? Like, and the Koreans were fucking, if people don't know,
they loved it.
The thing I love about Koreans, it's why, by the way, that whole thing when they tell you, like in America, in San Francisco, like, oh, don't dress up like other people's cultures. They hate that. That's appropriation. The other cultures love that, you moron. That's exactly what they all do. Like, they'll have some like weird, fucked up Western style, like American outfit thing or food place. So they love that shit. So in this case, they were just like, they were eating up the idea Sid was like some fucking, like I say, like actual Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Like, what up, motherfucker? From America. They were loving that shit.
Yeah, they did love it.
That was perfect. That's actually why, by the way, I always thought that thing, I've made the point about LCS, that the stupidest thing they gave up was they had like all these essentially like WWE style stars of the game.
I mean, Saint was an amazing personality.
That. Yeah, they just made it about the bloody game. It's like, you idiots, you had like Triple H and The Rock, etc., and you just didn't bother working with their personalities.
I mean, think about this. Like, you know, people wonder about kind of the popularity of esports, but you have to remember that there wasn't a difference between the big personalities and being a professional esports player during this period. Like all of the big streamers, like I'm a Cutie Pie, Hotshot, Reggie, Doublelift, Saint Vicious, all of these guys were playing professionally while being massive personalities and streamers at the same time. So it was really like, this is why esports was so big, because it was in North America because of the personalities. When people saw TSM versus CLG, like they had all these personalities that they were invested in these matchups. So yeah, it was huge, and that's really what we've lost. You know, it's funny, Thorin, because like by going through this content, I'm really realizing why LCS was so popular at one point in time, because this is really entertaining. Actually, it's very cringe, but it's very entertaining.
No, the vibe even is like, this is the joke of it all. Obviously, they did do all those reality series afterwards, but like the reason this even almost works is actually, if you don't know how, that's famously the thing that they say is what made the UFC get huge, was when they actually did the Ultimate Fighter reality series, where it's like the semi-pros trying to become pro. And you know, the same concept as like all reality series, like the Voice and American Idol. Like the idea is, as you watch the sport, you get to become a fan of the person as they get better, and then you follow them into the sport. Like that was the vibe of LCS back then. It was like, that's why everyone was super obsessed with all the big names.
It's helped me get into Formula One. I wouldn't probably be interested in it without Drive to Survive. So
I think that's the concept we need to bring back. That was the shit. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
It was fun.
All right, let's do one of the most famous cringe videos of all time, which is the Team Siren.
By the way, I'll just say right now, even though in its own fucked up way, this would obviously be presented as like a pioneer of like diversity and all that jazz. This is a great example of content that ironically set back women in esports years and years and years, because it even became like a touchstone meme that if you ever referenced a woman being any good at the game at all, they would just make the meme of like, is she a Team Siren or something like that. Ironically, it did actually like essentially it just blew up in their face completely, this whole video. Like if you remember, I don't think they even played after this, mate. I think they just immediately disbanded or something, didn't they? Because
it was really sad, and it's like it had nothing to do with the players and everything to do with the choice of production. So as you guys will see,
it's going to be amazing though. Get ready. It's so edgy.
I like the anime like intro with the swirl into the dissolve.
I'm a siren. I'm a siren.
What was the highlight?
I'm a siren. I am a siren.
Why are all esports intros like the anime thing where it's just like looking down and then looking up? But they pick the most awkward clips of them doing it. Like it's not even smooth. It's so jerky. You think it's a League of Legends ad, but it's not.
I am here to change that.
I mean, that stat isn't even true. That stat said men make up 90% of professional players and teams. Dude, this is like 2015 or 14 or something. Like it would be way more than 90%.
Well, 90%. I think probably the player base is higher than 90% male. If I had to guess of League of Legends,
easy. Everyone just sold that thing.
Hold on. This is the
they're
real.
Trying to imply they're going to play Worlds. That's like PDD from IG there.
Yeah.
That's the worst part about this. They're implying they're actually going to be at Worlds, for fuck's sake.
I just don't understand how they got them to say this, because I feel so bad for these women because they were clearly fed these lines and then they just became memes because they were so awkward.
I can tell you as an interviewer, it's not my style, but the problem is essentially you just have to have enough time. Like essentially, here's the metaphor. You'll be able to get this metaphor immediately. You know the old prank where someone goes up to someone and goes, "Can I have your signature?" And then when they signed the piece of paper, it was folded and you unfold it and it was like a contract. Like, "You are now my slave forever." And it's like it's just a gag prank of like, you know, "Oh, it was a contract." You can essentially do that in interviews. Like what you do. This is actually how they do gotcha interviews. If you don't know, for like 60 minutes and stuff, they do it the other way. They present from the first moment they contact you that they're actually on your side. They're like, "Oh, I know you're a controversial figure, but I want to get your story out there. I want to hear what you have to say about it. And you know what? Here's what we'll do. I'll put to you some of the things that people have said about you, and you'll like sort of address them." And the point is, Monty, here's the genius that you don't get as the person doing the interview. They can cut any of that out. So all the stuff that they're doing now that's making you feel more and more comfortable, that finally you'll talk about the thing that's controversial, they can just cut around that. And that could be the whole interview is just that. And then you're fucked at that point. Like you just look like you've just said something, because you don't know. It's like every video on the internet. You always have to ask what happened before they press play. Like what could have caused this to happen, but no one does. So basically, like when they did this, I'll guarantee what they did was they just talked around it for like 20 minutes, Monty. Like, "Oh, what does it mean to be a pro, for example? Or what would you want to do if you were in a top team?" And you just keep doing that, and then you just cut your soundbite, don't you? So you get your soundbite where it's like, "I think we could beat the guys in the end," or like, "You know what? It's about being the best." You know, you just sit, and then you just look like a fool because they present it now like you just said that shit to be a bravado. Because I actually do think, by the way, I know what you mean. I think most of the people in this video, these girls, had no idea it was being presented as like you're going to be at Worlds or whatever. Like, I think they just thought you had a cool chance to have a fucking career. You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, who could blame them for wanting to join a professional team, right? Like, you know, what's crazy is I just looked up the numbers on this video. It has 3 million views from 2013. This is why these memes became so famous, guys. They really just like went through the entire community. And I actually just found a 10-minute documentary about what happened to the all-female League of Legends team from 2 years ago that has 11 million views. So people remembering Team Siren, fucking insane. But let's keep watching, because it's really these these sound bites that make this so cringe.
With millions of dollars at stake.
This is bigger than us.
Losing is not an option.
Oh, so you can't put a line like that in. Come on. Anyone would get memed off if you said some shit like that. Like that's like Henry G. That's why he got memed on Cloud9.
It's just so poisonous, this whole video.
We have a chance to make history.
I'm a little Jenny and I play.
What about her story though?
I'm Christina and I play AD carry.
These highlights
I'm
are so shit.
and I play mid.
Zoe Deschanel replacement clone there. Did you see that? Go back a second. She looks exactly like. She's like the scuffed version of Zoe Deschanel.
That's true. I do love how this, by the way, this line was the most famous one. I'll bait you and outsmart you. Became like a huge meme in League of Legends.
Of course.
My name
While
is
playing chess and all that stuff.
Of course, I'll bait you and outsmart you.
I'm Sylvanas and I play mid. I'll bait you and outsmart you.
Oh god.
My name is Junie and I play top and I own you.
And I own you.
I'm Millie Sweetheart and I'm
I
the
just
jungle.
own you. Just straight up own you.
We live together, we play together. This is my family. This is my dream.
They had to get the family and the dream, and then the Vegas shooting clips, of course.
Also, this music's absolute cancer. This was the height of Skrillex. People don't know. This is absolutely atrocious, isn't it? People won't even know, Monty, how much that infected esports, that music. It was just everywhere, wasn't it?
It was. Music is terrible. But what I love about this video is like it almost feels like a comedy sketch. Like it feels like a parody. It doesn't even feel
I'm not
real.
even joking. Even though they actually didn't, I can tell by how they designed the production, intend it to mean that way. You could almost think this was some like ridiculous parody that like the Playboy channel was doing something. They're like, we live together and we play together. We're gonna beat that ass. Like the whole thing was just so cringe. Like I can tell they thought it was coming off really epic, but it wasn't landing, was it? It wasn't. I know. And that one, like, I play mid and I'm gonna bait you and outsmart you.
And outsmart you.
I know.
Losing
and then
is not an
I love the
option.
way that it just
I'm
showed her
excited.
making one move, playing herself in chess. You can always tell dimwits because they don't even know how chess works. They think it's like checkers, and you do that thing of like click, 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 and that's the game. It's like that. Why is every movie like that? That's why, by the way, just as an aside, I did think that fucking Queen's Gambit was so overrated. That's one of the worst shows I've ever seen. For
it was all right.
And then I'm just a genius, so I win. It's just like Yu-Gi-Oh, but like a fucking movie or something. Like what? Yo, you just win again,
accept it for what it was. You
win again,
what it was.
Sound. You're just better than all of them at chess because you're a woman. Sound. You win. Whatever.
All right, let's switch. Let's switch to some Overwatch because there's some really funny shit that happened in Overwatch, especially in the first season. Like famously, the DJ Khaled stuff. So I was casting this final. I have to tell the story about why DJ Khaled showed up because it's a very weird story.
There's supposed to be someone else first, right?
Yeah. So what happened was. Okay. So we weren't supposed to have a musical guest. Up to 2 weeks beforehand, there was no musical act booked. And we originally were going to have so Nate Nanzer and I and some other people really wanted Run the Jewels to open Overwatch League, which would have been cool for obvious reasons. And that didn't end up happening. And I don't know, you guys can look up so recently, let me see if I can find this guy. Hold up. So Daniel Cherry came up in the news recently because Kanye West was having like a feud with this Adidas general manager. So he used to be the guy in charge of marketing at the Overwatch League. And so he assured everybody at the league, oh yeah, I've got all these connections in music and I'm definitely going to be able to get a musical act. Anyway, turns out that we never booked one. And so, there was, and by the time they went to major artists, it was too late. They were all on tour. Obviously, like going to New York to perform was, off a lot of people's, tour lists at the time. You had to be in the right place or have that day free on your tour in order to do that. So we didn't have a musical artist because this guy fucked it up. So what happened was Bobby Kotick, as I understand it, found out that the kids loved DJ Khaled because at the time DJ Khaled was like popping off on Snapchat, and DJ Khaled was at opening on a tour for Beyonce and Jay-Z at the time, and he had a day off, so they flew him on a private jet to New York from whatever city that he was on tour with Jay-Z and Beyonce in to do this 30-minute act. But it was because Bobby Kotick at the last second saw there wasn't a musical act and thought that DJ Khaled was popular with the kids. So he forced him into the Overwatch League finals. And we ended up with this insanely awkward thing because obviously DJ Khaled has no idea what this is because he was booked last minute and wasn't supposed to be here and has no connection to the Overwatch audience. And the arena was actually just dead during this. People were not into it. He's trying to get people to like sing.
Let's go, New York. Sing it.
Nobody was into it, and nobody's singing.
Where that's like the most unimpressed kid in the entire world. Like, who even is DJ Khaled, Dad? Who is he? Like, just someone the Americans like.
Silence from the crowd is so hilarious. This is a full arena, by the way. There's like 15,000 people in here.
I'm just going to put this out there. His name literally contains DJ. I'd maybe have him playing the music or something, not singing. This guy must just be thinking he's nailing it. This is like Freak when he's at Worlds. Like, I'm just nailing this so hard and they're going to keep paying me every year. It's just fucking easy being this good.
So I was standing up on the rafters with DotA, and we were both just like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? Can we please just get to the games? My God.
Put your hands up like this.
How long does this last?
It's only 2 minutes, but it feels like an eternity.
Okay, people are singing this one.
They're more into it now, I guess.
Now no one gives a shit about it's over.
If you a winner like me, put your hands up.
Okay. Why's the volume gone down so low?
I don't know. It's just a video.
All right, fair enough.
Like this. Hands in the sky like this. And I want you to sing my song with me. Let's go like this.
Just like almost everybody's just sitting. Okay. So with that done, I'll introduce the next piece of content, which is very famous from Noah Winston, the former CEO of Immortals that you guys probably know from League of Legends, but he also ran the LA Valiant. And so the next two clips are this became a very famous Overwatch meme where he takes agilities to in and out to have a serious conversation. And it's just spectacularly cringe about this player's performance. So this was a documentary made by LA Valiant, by the way. They did these things, recorded them, and thought it was a good idea to put out.
I think everyone expected things to just get better when we transitioned coaches and didn't really understand that the problems with the team lay a lot deeper than that. I think some of the players on the team started looking at agilities as a problem to solve rather than as a teammate. Coach Moon was still in Korea, so he was kind of able to see this from a remote perspective, but wasn't able to impact it on the ground. And so to kind of stall the problems and prevent things from getting worse until he could get here, he wanted to swap Kareev onto a flex DPS role.
How many here?
So that provides the context, guys. And the thing about this is that I actually really miss Noah on Immortals because he communicated what was going on with the team very well to the fans. I think his communication was one of his strengths. So this is the part where Brady is agilities, by the way. And so Brady played with the sister team for a week until Noah summoned him for a meeting at In-N-Out Burger. So first off, it's spelled wrong. It's in-N-out. So it's not in and out. It's In-N-Out Burger. So it's just spelled wrong. But also, I just love the phrase until Noah summoned him for a meeting. Like he's the dictator of the team summoning his cronies in. And this is where it gets really hilarious.
Yeah.
In-N-Out Burger.
So when Coach Moon and I had a big conversation with the rest of the coaching staff, one of the things he mentioned is that, he thinks you're really good mechanically. It's like he wants to spend a lot of time with you.
Oh, the way that camera moved around.
We got the cameraman in the back, just awkwardly panning between them. It's like we're gonna have this very serious conversation in this car in the rain outside of a fast food restaurant.
Fucked up thing, Monty. I can tell. I can just see that the producer in his mind. It's like you're just there in the call with the intimate moment of like the sports biopic between the owner.
But there's really just a
player.
giant camera.
Yeah,
just
and imagine if we could actually capture that moment, and then that you're supposed to fit, but it actually just feels really awkward that you're like, anyway, so what are you doing? Like, what the
like one-on-one, give you that environment that you didn't have before. So you understand that you're going to have a shot at the main roster again.
Yeah.
But to be transparent with you, like, this is the shot, right? And so I really hope that you go into this giving it everything you can and really working as hard as you possibly can and showing everyone how hard you're working and how much you're learning from Coach Moon, because this is the shot. If this doesn't work, it's going to be really hard to kind of build that bond up again. I'm a big fan of yours. I'm really.
This kid's like 17, by the way, and he actually became quite good. Agilities became quite a good player.
Yeah, but that's such an instant sec. I'm a huge fan of yours. Like you've known him like 5 minutes.
To see what you can do with like a
season
more
one
structured system.
The music too.
It's a lot of pressure. I mean, it's good though.
Single piano notes.
Renewed, and I feel better about playing. But like overall, like having that pressure where it's like basically perform as best as you can, or
even the way they set it up, like it began with that like thing of like black screen, very somber, like white text, like Agility's dreamed of playing in the Overwatch League, but then he became ill. He developed Overwatchitis or something. He was given 2 weeks to live, but no Winston has one last idea. It just comes in like that. That's the whole thing. Like, and of course, it's gonna be if this course, this is the shot. Okay, if this course doesn't work, we're out of ideas. This is a novel disease. It's never happened before. At that point in time, we just have to manage it until the unfortunate end. And then doing that somber music there, like, I hope I have one more chance, but I understand.
It's so serious. It's so ridiculous.
It's like at the end they're going to put him down or something. You know what I mean?
It's horrible. 2 days so far, but 2 days I've probably played better in scrims than I have in a long time. So I'm looking.
The turnaround is really coming.
Come on.
졌다고 해서 다음 경기까지 진 게 아니잖아 우리가. 오늘 그날 진 게 아니잖아.
One doesn't mean we just lost the whole day.
응? 근데 그거를 계속 빠르게 정리를 하고 다 같이 얘기를 해서 지금 이게 뭐가 안 됐고 뭐가 안 됐으니까 이거를 빨리 정리해서 그 다음 경기에 이렇게 안 되게끔 하자. 그런 거를 해야 되는데 지금 우리 너무 아마추어 같아 지금.
We're just all like playing like amateurs.
오버워치 리그에 맞는 수준의 지금 멘탈을 갖고 있지 않은 것
We're
같아.
not having the same mental fortitude that is worthy of the Overwatch League.
우린 오늘 끝난 게 아니야 경기가. 오늘 토너먼트.
Oh mate, pause this a second. This actual clip here just showed the best example ever. I hope everyone from league's watching this. Like this just showed why you can't just literally import even the best Korean coach to like an NA team. Forget it's one thing if they had all Koreans, but just a team with NA players. Because like the things he's even saying there to you as random Westerners sound like filler. Like just saying something you're not even worthy to be in the Overwatch League. That would really mean something to a Korean if people don't know. If you said to them, like, you're not worthy to be an OGN and play where like boxer players are, dude, they would like fuck. Oh yeah, you're right. Like fuck. That would, but that's just going over these NA players. They don't give a shit. Like whatever.
Well, it's also this was season 1, so there's no history to compare it against.
You can tell none of even what he's saying isn't even hitting, bro. They're not getting it at all. They're just like, what? Yeah, I mean, we lost the game, bro. Who cares? Like.
All right, so the next clip I have is actually just a parody of this. So the Philadelphia Fusion,
this was good,
a different team, did a literal parody of that clip because it was so funny and so it became so well known in Overwatch League Season 1, and they actually nail it. So this is this is very funny. Until Tucker summoned him for a meeting at In-N-Out Burger.
So when I spoke with Coach Kirby, we had a big conversation with the rest of the coaching staff. One of the things he thinks is that you're very gifted mechanically. It's like he wants to give you more time.
He's trying to do the same like
environment that maybe you didn't have before. So you understand that you're going to be to have another shot at the roster.
Yeah. He's nailing how cringe it was though.
This is the shot. And I want you to go in and make it clear to everybody that you're trying as hard as you can, that you're putting in the work, and you're learning from Coach Kirby as much as you can. Because to be transparent with you, if this doesn't go well, it's going to be really tough to build that trust back. I'm a big fan of yours.
I love it.
Walkout game is
Your walkout game is shit.
Shanghai walks out happier than you. It's got to be the worst walkout in the league. And if it doesn't get better at stage 3, like, that there are no more shots.
And black and white, of course, to end with on an
awkward walkout.
Obviously, should just end with like a black screen, the white word Finn.
So, funny thing about that, because you noticed that there was the rain on the windshield again, right? And so what I was told by the Philadelphia Fusion production staff was they had an intern on top of the car pouring bottles of water to simulate the rain during that, so they could perfectly recreate this. So I thought that was pretty good.
Here's what's funny about that though. Why I actually really appreciated about it as a parody is they could have actually like sexed it up and made it really ridiculous, but because they just tried to do it totally straight, Monty, 1 for 1, it actually just highlighted how cringe the original one was, because you actually felt sort of like you were allowed to laugh at it all that year. So like it made you realize the whole thing was ridiculous. That whole thing. It was actually like, even though Winston's part of it wasn't actually that well delivered, he sort of did, like, you can tell, dick around a bit and like pussy put around the point and not just say like what he meant to say. And then when he did, he tried to make it like a movie moment or something, didn't he? So he just overplayed his hand a bit. He overplayed it a bit.
Okay, let's go back to some League of Legends. This one was suggested by some of you guys, and we're gonna do it especially because it shows I Will Dominate, which is our Team Liquid Smoothie Challenge.
Okay.
Team Liquid Smoothie Challenge, where 4 of Team Liquid's members compete to create the best tasting smoothie to impress our mystery judge. Today's contestants are I Will Dominate.
I hope this smoothie doesn't leak.
Joker Steve.
Some call me Joker, but this competition's no joke.
Phoenix.
I am the Blender Cat.
Liquid 112.
I'm not
Blender God
in this competition.
All right, summoners, you will have 30 seconds to complete your special smoothies for our mystery smoothie judge. Are you ready? 3,
by the way,
1.
The judge is Smoothie from Team Liquid, I'm guessing.
Of course.
Go! And we're off to the races in the Team Liquid Smoothie Challenge.
I should put the ice in first. Oh.
I Will Dominate, struggling with the peel as we move into the blend phase. That will not bode well for him later in the competition. He's having a snack open, using the peel to spike Joker Steve. What a move! Oh, and Phoenix with Emperor's Divide. The judge is very pleased as we move into the final pour phase. Oh, hats off to Joker Steve. It's a classic base race to the finish. 3, 2, 1. Hands up as our summoners move into the final judgment phase. Wow, what a game. This will for sure go into the history books. Let's present our smoothies to the judge. Up first, I Will Dominate. With a classic banana strawberry, ooh, and a little cheese on top. Banana pineapple from Joker Steve, hoping to finish number 1. Ooh, tasty chocolate banana from Phoenix. Can he repeat the quadra kill? And Liquid with a lemon freeze. Or not. And now it's time for our final judgment phase. What will the Smoothie Master think? First up, Chocolate Banana.
I had a lot of faith in this one, but it failed to deliver.
Quadra kill unlikely for Phoenix. Let's move on to Banana Pineapple.
This one tastes extra special.
There's no joke about that ruling. Next up, Banana Strawberry.
I like the strawberry touch, but you're lacking some kiwi, kid.
I will dominate's dignity slipping away. And finally, Lemon Freeze.
Nice and zesty.
That's
but
for
it
that
tastes
shit punning
retarded.
about. That's
Looks
about
like
Kiwi
Liquid
Kid
is
and
calling
things
for his
that's
ride home.
real.
And now our summoners wait for the
That's
final
garbage.
vote. Which
It's not that
smoothie will
bad.
reign supreme?
It wasn't that bad, I guess.
What is Dom looking at right there?
Reign supreme.
Look at his face. There's actually so many like good Dom emotes in here.
Oh, I can't believe.
How is this not a Dom emote, by the way?
Also, by the way, whatever year this was the year that Dom just froze in time and never aged one day after this.
On top, Banana Pineapple from Joker Steve. And now our summoners wait for the final verdict.
How good is the fucking production?
Which
Joker
smoothie
Steve
will
looks like a
reign
fucking
supreme?
model or something. Look at those blue eyes. You just get lost in.
Production's great.
Oh, I can't believe my eyes.
I'm the only
This is
smoothie
actually
you
great.
need.
It's Smoothie.
It's a player announcement video. All right, I actually
I'm Andy
low-key really
Smoothie
like
Top,
this.
former supporter of TDK and new supporter of Team Liquid. I am from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and now I'm staying at the Team Liquid house. What I bring to Team Liquid is a very skilled mechanical player.
Yeah, that's
I'm
it.
most looking forward to
Look,
cringe.
Yeah, look, man, I actually really like that. The production value is high. It's a fun concept. They literally did a great integration of protein powder from Quest, one of their partners, that was really memorable. And it was cringe, but it was like intentionally cringe, and it was quite fun. I actually really liked it. I think that's a great video. Like actually just a good video.
And it also just works on a marketing level.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no matter what part of the video you saw, your brain now knows Team Liquid and Smoothie. Well, guess what? It's an announcement video for Smoothie joining Team Liquid. Also, by the way, just as a random aside, I always thought actually Smoothie was one of the players that was like a what if from the NA region. Like, he could have been a much better player than his career ended up as. I don't know why his last few teams were just a bit whack, mate. Always seemed like a good player early on.
Okay, so we'll do another one. It's another Travis video of the Team 8 house tour from the early days of LCS. Now, I don't recall that I've seen this before. Maybe I have, but it was very highly recommended and recommended frequently. So this is from the On Gamers era.
Hey everyone, Travis here at the Team 8 house with my good friend Maple Street.
So Maple Street, for you guys who don't know, is the Odd One's younger brother as well. He was an 80 carry
decided
player.
to give us a house tour of the Team 8, team house.
House tour!
The enthusiasm levels are high here tonight. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the entryway, which has a bunch of shoes, Maple Street.
Yeah, so that's just where you leave your shoes.
Yeah.
There's so many shoes that it couldn't possibly be all different people. So I don't know who half the shoes belong to, honestly.
The great thing about my team house tours is that they're very comprehensive. We even start with the shoes in the entryway. Anyway, let's get into something really interesting.
Yes, Travis, you truly are a thorough
Well,
journalist.
this is just a living room where all of us watch replays from. So
Okay.
we have all our seats and everything, and a really big TV hooked up to the laptop. So every single day of scrims, we just do
I think it was just a table in the background
many,
with like
many
one
hours
leg
of
off,
review,
upside down.
sometimes 4 or 6 hours. And we've got a little fridge that usually stocks some sort of beverages. It's really nice, so it's a really comfortable place.
Nothing.
And there's also a 3-legged table.
Yeah, what's the deal with a 3-legged table? I see it's from IKEA, which is like what every team house has. It's just IKEA furniture.
So initially we got this table, and it turned out we only had 3 legs. So we had to call up IKEA, and they just instantly said, "Oh yeah, this happens a lot. We'll give you an extra 2 legs." So now we have a 3-legged table, and we haven't just finished the table. We're just lazy. We could make it a 5-legged table. We can do anything with it.
What great customer service. I feel like IKEA should really sponsor the LCS. Anyway, let's
Free to freedom though, 5-legged.
Yeah, that's true. Let's move on. So there's actually a bedroom over here. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is the Canadians' bedroom. All 3 Canadians of this house live here. So starting with me, that's my bed.
Holy shit, this is like fucking boss form or something, mate. Look at this. Holy shit, the beds are all in one room. Bro, what is this? Bro,
that's how game houses used to be, man.
I know, but I'd forgotten it. Like, I'd sort of deleted it from my brain. I thought they all had their own rooms in my brain.
I mean, at least it's not bunk beds.
The about this room is definitely this bed.
That may as well be just 3 beds. Look, imagine being the guy in the middle when you have to go to the toilet at night and stuff.
I'd like to ask about what exactly...
I love these house tours as if it's like something magnificent, you know what I mean?
Secretly, a room.
Yes, this is where we put the dog and the lowest LP or ELO in the house.
Lowest ELO player lives here with the dog.
Yeah, unfortunately, Porp has been sleeping there for the past few days. He gets to enjoy. Yep, this is where every single computer is set up.
Okay.
And most of us have cyberpower PCs.
Cyberpower PCs. We'll go from desk to desk, starting with this one, which, again, much like your bedroom.
I don't know whose computer this is. It's weird. Why is there a Corky hat? It's almost like that person plays Corky.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It could be mine.
If it was yours, what would be going on here?
Well, you see, I was researching the positive attributes of the female species.
Jesus.
Fantastic. Let's move on, Maple. I don't know.
There's some sort of fucking insult documentary. What is this shit?
This is Dodo Seek. I'm not sure where he is right now. This is our support. So
he's MIA.
Oh, by the way, the person he just talked about, who hasn't featured, Dodo, is the person who's been fucking up Team Liquid for the last 2 years or whatever it is. I don't know. He's like the general manager of Team Liquid now.
Over there. This is his setup. Nothing too interesting there.
How about over here? There's actually somebody playing League of Legends.
Yeah, this is Callie preparing for the Poro show match.
The Poro show match. Is that what's happening? He's practicing?
Poro King.
This team was fucking garbage.
Oh yeah, terrible.
How practice, Callie?
This is cringe, guys, but it's not as entertaining as we might have hoped.
We'll just eat at their desk.
Also, nearly all these players just disappeared forever after this.
All right, we'll do one that we promised to do on this one, which is the throwback Loco Doco interview from Hotbid. So Hotbid was an old Team Liquid writer who ended up being the creative director of Beyond the Summit. And so a lot of the good content was from him, and then he works at Team Liquid again right now. But he also ran the old satire website Esports Express, if you guys remember. So
You're with,
he would
Loco
do these
Doco?
very intentionally awkward and funny interviews. So there's a whole series of these.
He's
that he
a
did.
League of Legends professional, right?
And so this was an IPL 5.
You used to post on TL.
A little bit, time to time.
And I mean, I don't really know anything about League, but what position do you play?
Why would you interview me then?
Well, I saw a lot of people asking for your
Good
autographs,
question.
so I said we should interview that guy.
That's actually a
And the
good question.
GameSpot people said your ID, so that's how I knew that.
Well, like, I played this. Well, I used to play like something. It's like a cross way between a marine and a dragon and a vulture. Like you kite people. Like it's called AD carry.
What does the AD stand for?
AD. Attack damage.
Oh, we got it.
I think of a pretty long time for that.
Yeah, because like I don't know. I'm just too used to calling it AD. You know.
And what are the other positions?
There's support. That's the bitch role. That's the role I switched to, which I regret.
And you have to put up wards and stuff.
Yeah, like it's like playing an observer. Like if like if you're like AD carries like playing with vultures, like you have to be quick.
So Hotbid's from StarCraft, obviously, so that's why he's framing it
and then,
this
like,
way.
Playing support.
But the
is,
joke
like,
is
playing
Loco's doing a really
observer,
good.
like,
He's doing a great job.
Analyze
and you watch
the game.
stuff
You
and you
understand
scout
exactly.
and like you're a little bitch.
Sounds fun. And what about the other positions?
Mid is like it's AP. It's like a high Templar. Like you do Psionic Storm.
That's good
like,
analogy.
That's a good analogy.
It's really mid is it's about being mobile. It's about farming well. It's about outsmarting, outplaying opponents.
Okay.
And then you have top. Top is like.
Wait, there's a position just called top?
Oh, it's called top because like it's a variety of roles. Like you can play a mage there. You can play something tanky there. You can play a bruiser there. Like you can play a lot of stuff there.
That's only 4 positions though, right?
Oh, and then there's jungle. Like this role's so
Oh,
not
it's already
important
done.
that I
Get
almost
ready.
forgot. Like
Get ready.
you live in
Look, listen.
You do neutral creeps. Like it's like playing. You do like everyone else is like playing against people, and then you're playing against like monsters.
You make it sound like Diablo.
You're like a nobody, and then once in a while you show up in the lane and you try to kill people. Most of the time you fail, and then your teammates blame you, and then you go back to killing. Like
that's such a good explanation.
It's very accurate.
He used to be one of the
premier AD carries of Korea.
Actually true.
And you used to play StarCraft, right?
Yeah, I played ICOP B+. What's up, bitch?
That's pretty good. B+. What race?
Actually.
What's
pretty good.
And what was your go-to build?
Go-to build, 2 Atchmeters.
Oh, really? That's some high level stuff.
Well, like I'm Korean, so like, it was a part of my curriculum. Like
what APM did you have?
AP, well, like raw or effective.
Either.
Oh, we got Hobbit there. Hobbit didn't really know, like.
Well, in Korea, like raw effective.
Like
you're like, oh, I have 400 raw APM, like, and then that doesn't really mean much, you know.
Yeah.
I played with like around 150, 200, I guess. Around
yeah,
there.
that's very good for effective APM.
2 Hatch Mute is hard.
It's about
not on Blue Storm, but certain maps. Python, Wait, 2 Hatch Mute on Python?
Python only.
Wow, that's actually pretty hard. Yeah.
No,
I love
like,
how ridiculous
like,
the person
StarCraft,
is.
Well, I never learned the matchup like really well, and then you can cheat. Like ICOP's so easy to cheat, you know.
I mean, this is also when he hadn't lived in
I played.
America
I followed StarCraft 1 scene till the very end, because I used to be on StarTale, so I follow StarCraft 2 scene like somewhat, because like I wanted to be like, oh good.
So you know like Parting and like Bomber and those guys.
Dude, Parting hates.
You guys boys?
Parting hates. Or no, Parting loves me. Oh, that's Polt. Polt that hates me.
Why does Polt hate
you?
you?
You keep track of who hates him on
for
his team.
another day.
But you'll notice.
No.
Exactly.
We're getting into it right now.
Every team
I saw Polt just now.
No, he's not at IPL.
Yeah, he's here.
Shit. I gotta go.
No, seriously, he just beat Creator Prime.
Oh wow, good job, Polt. We're best friends now. You're watching this, right? Well,
like seriously, why does he hate you?
No, he doesn't. Well, okay, fuck. I said it, so like now he will probably hate me, but like.
Well, I mean, if he already hates you, saying something now doesn't really change anything.
Doesn't hate me. He hates someone, but he doesn't know who that someone is. But that someone is me. And then
what did you do? What did you do?
No,
did you hear that, Monty?
I promise.
You gotta rewind that. Rewind that
on
little bit there. That was genius. The way he described that.
Just beat Creator Prime.
Oh wow, good job, Polt. We're best friends now.
It's just in the way he describes this scenario.
Well, like
seriously, why does he hate you?
No, he doesn't. Well,
listen.
Okay, fuck. I said it, so like now he will probably hate me, but like.
Well, I mean, if he already hates you, saying something now doesn't really change anything.
Doesn't hate me. He hates someone, but he doesn't know who that someone is. But that someone is me. And then,
what did you do? What did you do? Tell me.
I didn't do anything.
I promise we won't post this on the internet.
Because you do realize he just incriminated himself. Like he just essentially implied it. No, actually, Paul just hates someone that he doesn't know, but I've just admitted that's me. So he hates me, Loco Doco, me. How much more do you want to drop yourself in it? Like what the fuck? What's wrong with you, bro? Him. By the way, now I get totally why him and Doublelift were either like super best friends or hated each other, because they both have that same problem where they're both just like reacting like animals to the external stimuli. Like they're all just wildly acting. It's so mad how much stuff he admits in this interview.
I mean, anything directly Loco Doco though. He will incriminate himself at every possible opportunity.
No, just move on. Parting is really cool. I love Parting. Like when I first came to StarTale and like Parting met me, Parting's like, oh, Loco Hyung, like I love you and I respect you so much. Can I have your autograph? Like Parting with a little kid, and I fucking loved him. Oh, go Aggie.
Have your autograph for what?
Oh, that's Longhorn. My bad.
Wait, you're at Texas A&M?
What? No, my dad got his PhD there.
They just beat Alabama a few weeks ago, right?
Oh, really? I don't keep up with football.
But I was so excited to talk to you about football.
Sorry.
Thanks for beating Alabama.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, like I love Parting. I love Squirtle. I love Bomber. I love Ace. I love everyone on StarTale. They're so cool. Fruit Dealer's super cool too.
He's not on StarTale though.
He used to. No, he coached me on StarTale.
Oh right, because he switched.
To a LOL coach.
That's right. Oh, I forgot about that.
Dirty trader.
It was only like season 2 or something.
So much money and so much fans. Oh, StarCraft 2 is such a.
Because remember that was when the Game Boy came out that year.
I just forgot it happened.
Wow, you just personified our whole forum. I don't know whether to be impressed or insulted. That was pretty good.
Stop.
So what do you think about the rivalry between StarCraft and LoL?
What rivalry? Like if LoL always wins, that's not really a rivalry.
Oh, okay.
This is getting into it. Trash talk.
So at this time, by the way, guys, there was LoL had just started to take off and be like the biggest events at MLG and IPL, so that's why the rivalry. Because this was when in the West it started getting bigger than StarCraft 2.
So this is what I think. Like it's like when my dick is soft, it's still longer than yours when it's hard. That's basically it. If the third uncasted stream had more viewers than your like the.
Hold on. First, I don't think that's.
And by the way,
100%
not only
accurate.
is that an insane analogy, but this is
I
when
love that
one of the
analogy.
weird pieces of trivia about Loco was famously that he had jerked off on stream when it was in Korea. But this, to be fair, there's no like VOD of it. No one can like pull up a video, but it's a famous thing about him. So it just shows you how ridiculous Loco. If you think, it's the funny thing is they think he was ridiculous who like came along at the end of LOL, like when we were doing Listen Loco and that like Cloud9. Someone they don't realize that was like Loco just chilled out at that point in time and fucking diluted down and like a reasonable This is when he was ridiculous, Monty. This is when he was just like a drama monster. He was like fucking.
I mean, he was so absurd during this era. It was great.
What do you think?
It was crazy.
The appeal of it is.
Appeal of law?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Naniwa. He's bad. Naniwa's bad. Naniwa's bad. You're a bad player and you should feel bad.
Oh my God, he's just heckling Naniwa. By the way, Naniwa is now like in my stream or in Dom's stream like all the time. He actually watches a ton of LOL and he chats all the time.
Protoss is an easy race. Anyone could play it. Forgate me all day, bitch.
Wow.
Anyone could forgate.
That's how you get punched by Nani. Nani was like a famous rager
macro,
too.
Micro.
It's impressive.
Yeah. I live
impressive trash
douche.
talk.
I live with that douche.
Yeah, he's kind of douchey.
Yeah, he's really douchey.
What did he do to you?
Nothing. But I know he's a douche. I know it's cool to hate on Naniwa. I know if you hate on Naniwa,
oh, that's
like,
right.
You're cool.
Naniwa used to stay at the Startel house at some point. That's how they must have known.
Oh,
fans.
No. Oh yeah. No.
I tried watching LOL.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on.
Well, me neither. Like half the time I'm just sitting there thinking, what am I doing with my life?
Also, by the way, this is hilarious because Hotbit after this very quickly transitioned from StarCraft to Dota 2, which is the same shit, mate. So like, you can't do that whole superiority thing. Like, what's this funny?
There was that incident at MLG.
That is Dota. You can't.
You mean World Final?
No. There's two incidents.
Okay.
One where the team like looked at the thing.
Is that Lil Suzy?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I know her.
There you go. Monty's wife got a
shout
shout out.
There's my
I
wife.
was gonna go to a TL meetup, but I got scared.
I forgot she was in this interview.
Shank me. But, yeah.
And then there's another one where everyone went all random, all mid.
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, all random, all mid. Like that
was that you?
No, that wasn't me. I wasn't even in America.
Oh, I was talking about the same.
Are you good at all random, all mid?
And they got wrecked.
Yeah.
I
was casting that event.
And it would have been.
Yeah, and they would have called me a tryhard. They would have called me a tryhard.
It would have been 9 random, 9 mid, and then Loco Doco in the jungle.
Okay, so whatever. Like that was so unprofessional. Like I don't even have an excuse for it. Like and I don't know why I should have an excuse for it. Like it's just like it's not like my.
Yeah, that's fucked up, right?
I'm just straight up. That's fucked up. But like that's not the entirety of LoL. I can't like you guys can't be like, oh, LoL's such a joke because they played all random.
I didn't say that. Okay.
Well, I can be like, oh, look at Combat X in his video. StarCraft 2 such a joke.
Hey,
well, the real joke that Hotbit doesn't know at this
notch.
point in
I'm not attacking anyone.
He's essentially talking about a famous incident of match fixing in League. Well, spoiler, Hotbit, in a couple of years, you were about to find out about a guy called Life and what he was doing in StarCraft 2. This is actually the year he even became a top pro. People remember when he won fucking GSL. So,
and the League reference, guys, was at MLG Raleigh. I believe it was MLG Raleigh. So it was the finals were an ARAM because the teams agreed to not play because the League of Legends World Championship for season 2, so this was in 2012, was coming up right after this event, and they didn't want to play seriously and show their strategies before the World Championship. So, I mean, the way they handled it was bad, obviously, but there was a legitimate justification, and like winning an MLG, which didn't do anything for them besides money, and it wasn't a huge amount of money, was paled in comparison to them like actually saving their strategies and saving their gameplay for Worlds.
Just trying to ask serious journalistic questions here. Okay. So StarCraft community is a little anti-LOL. Okay, we'll admit that.
Butthurt.
But
what
they
do you
seem
mean
to.
Anti-LOL? You mean butthurt? That's the right word, butthurt.
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, come on, it's kind of a little boring to watch sometimes.
Well, it's boring. Like okay, like. If I spoke to you in Korean, then it would be like you wouldn't understand me. Like, well, how can you criticize something?
That's a really bad example because I really
analogy.
like the Korean casting. They're like very energetic about it.
Playgoo!
Yeah, it's awesome. But anyway,
but like I don't. Okay, I think I don't like the fact that StarCraft, like, because I played StarCraft, I religiously follow StarCraft. When I met when I met Jaedong in real life, like I was like, oh my god, Jaedong. I want to do cocaine off your erect penis, but like, I was so excited about Jaedong.
It's like for real. The most quotable person.
You almost could believe that.
Like
he doesn't, but like if LoL said,
I love LoL too, and like
he could get away with all this shit.
Honestly, it almost more love, but I don't see why StarCraft has to hate. Like
I don't think it. I think it's good too if the scenes are a little bit more friendly with each other.
Bigger,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like, it's better.
But I also think, do you find it weird that StarCraft 2 seems to be very happy with Dota, but not so much with LoL? Why do you think that is?
Because they're elitist. Oh my, have you been to TL? You like it's
I have been there, yes.
They're so elitist. Oh my god.
By the way,
have you
here's a
played some
hilarious
Dota?
detail people won't know from this time period. What local means there is famously on Team Liquid, they wouldn't even make a League of Legends section because everyone wanted to just play Dota and said, like, Dota's the real game. And all the people, obviously, because they're StarCraft, like, we're the elitists of esports. And then the real joke is, obviously, it was only something mad like 2 years after this, they got the League of Legends team, which now has become one of the biggest things of their entire org, probably ever. And had double lift and won all those championships. Like, so their elitism sort of backfired on them in the end. You know?
Team Liquid used to be the very famous website you would go to for all of the forums and journalism, and so there was
like the HLTV org of StarCraft, basically.
Right. There were two things that happened. So one, by like basically hilariously, Team Liquid put out like an official announcement. It's like, our next game after StarCraft is Dota. We are not going to officially support League of Legends as part of our site. So they did have a League of Legends section, but it wasn't featured. And they had a lot of good articles. Like Fionn famously wrote a lot of articles there. So they had really good journalists who were active and trying to push for League of Legends content, but they buried it in the site, made an official announcement that was something ridiculous, like Dota is the more serious game compared to League of Legends and the more hardcore game. And the users were very against LoL. But because they didn't support LoL properly, like Team Liquid could have been the main discussion hub of League of Legends like it was in StarCraft. But then it became Reddit, which was very weird. But that's because TL didn't support it. And all the people who liked League of Legends on Team Liquid had to go somewhere else because it was, the other users were very hostile.
By the way, think how sad that is, Monty, because the main thing you lose when you get Reddit, as you see, because it becomes about all that wanky, like, am I upvoted or downvoted? Whereas obviously that doesn't matter on a flat forum like Team Liquid, it's just a discussion. You don't have discussions anymore. It just becomes stupid. Like, haha, I dunked on you. It was essentially like the original ratio shit, where it's like, what actually Team Liquid website was good for, and all old school forums is, as long as you don't like violate the terms of service or get kicked out for being obnoxious, you can have like real in-depth convos where people were like really smart, watch like the VOD, and they're having like back and forth huge discussions. Kind of like they want someone inside, but just fans, just going back and forth on all the deals. The actual amount of knowledge you could have in interesting convos was mega. Like, I actually miss forums like that, man.
Oh, yeah.
And
Team Liquid was famous because it was very heavily moderated. And so they kept a pretty tight leash on people. So it was actually, you couldn't really spam it. That people were generally well behaved on there.
I think even some pros got wrecked. Like, I think even people like Israel would get like wrecked if they like were too insulting in a post or something,
It was a lot of fun. So, and then also the hilarious part is that, Nazgul, Victor, who is the owner of Team Liquid, who's still co-CEO, he rejected League of Legends. And then, as you pointed out, Thorin, 2 years later, they had to actually give up a bunch of equity in Team Liquid to acquire Curse. And that's where Steve Aronset came in and became the co-CEO. So basically, in order to, during this era, by the way, Team Liquid had a ton of money from their StarCraft 2 success in the West. They could have actually just crushed TS. So the opportunity that was missed was that they could have been basically the most popular League of Legends team because they had the most money to buy players. So they could have basically been TSM and stopped TSM from developing. They could have been the central hub of conversation instead of Reddit for League of Legends. And then in the end, they ended up trading like half the company just to get a League of Legends team when they could have just started with it and never been, in that scenario.
Think when we watched that Team 8-1 earlier of what a joke their house was, the first season of LCS was teams like Marn and fucking that team and old complexity before the Dallas Cowboys money. Like you're saying, the real joke is it was absolutely egg on their face, like as you say, because instead of just starting what relative to the time would have been a very cheap League of Legends team where the salaries weren't even very high and everyone lived off the stipend, which would eventually have just got you to the same position they ended up in. As you say, they actually just waited, and then had to pay the maximum price at the time, which was literally giving up equity in their company to get the league division. Like it makes them look silly in the end.
But it was the opportunity cost. Like we probably never would have seen TSM be the most popular team if Liquid had entered into this era, or EG had entered into this era, because those were basically the two biggest Western teams.
I used to be a professional Dota player too.
Oh, really? Wow. Why'd you switch?
What?
Why'd you switch?
Well, I quit Dota. Okay, so you guys are, well, like, LoL community is gonna hate me, but I quit Dota to like go back to school. And then so
Where'd you go to school?
What?
Where'd you go to school?
Griffin's Art. Like it's a tiny high school. Like I went to a private art high school, but whatever.
How old are you?
I think I'm born in '92. Born in '92. Cause like there's
Korean
Korean and there's
Hobbit doesn't know about that. Come on.
Yeah.
Surely Hobbit knows about their concept.
Oh yeah, he does. But I mean, the reason why Locodoco can't immediately answer how old he is because Korean age is different.
You're gonna make me do the math. You're
so.
not just gonna say your age.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 3 minutes. All right. So anyways, like. I switched to I started playing LoL because I thought it looked really casual and I wouldn't get addicted to it. Like
that's hilarious. Local was still in
playing
until about like
you thought you wouldn't get addicted, and now we're doing an interview at a professional tournament.
This is from 2000.
That's how fun LoL is.
12 or something, guys.
End of 2012.
Well, what do you think?
You didn't get addicted though. Don't worry, guys.
LoL is way more friendly, and it's honestly LoL is better. It's designed a lot better. Like it's been getting a little worse, but Dota was like, here's all these imba shit, and like I'm gonna balance it with more imba shit, and then oh my god, like to balance.
Imba shit's pretty fun to play with.
Have another imba shit.
Come on, the imba shit's fun to play with.
Hi Kelvy, hi Maggie, hi Becca.
Oh, you are popular.
No, they're my teammates, girlfriends.
Oh.
And that's my third boyfriend.
What so you don't like playing with imba heroes? I like playing with imba heroes.
Well, I love Dota.
Invoker? That motherfucker's imba.
Dude, I love Potem, I love Pucked, I love Newerth and Assassin. Like Dota is fun in its own way, but I see where LoL has the wider appeal, you know?
Lots of flashy shit at the same time though. I can't understand what's going on.
Thing is, like, it's if you like, but I'm so used to that flashy shit. Like, I know exactly what that flashy shit is.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Exactly.
Like, if you watch StarCraft 2, like, to a LoL viewer, it looks like blobs attacking blobs attacking blobs.
Looks like shit.
But we like those blobs.
And we like our flashy stuff, you know?
That makes sense. Yeah, okay. I hear that one
StarCraft
of the voice
2 is really hard to watch because of the number of units and swarms.
I want to interview her.
Dude, that's so unprofessional. You should interview players and players only.
I'm interviewing you. This is the first LoL interview I've ever done. How good is Genius?
Genius?
At LoL. And those StarCraft players that switched.
Oh, okay. StarCraft players that switch have really good mechanics, but this is the problem with StarCraft players. They're not team players. Like, they don't understand LoL is a team game. Like, it's not good. Like, it's not about how good you're individually. Like, honestly, LoL has a way lower skill cap mechanically than StarCraft 2. That has, like, straight up, that's true. Like, I'm not even gonna argue. But, like, thing is, LoL is about team play. LoL is about understanding your teammates and yourself and your opponents. Like, it's a third level that StarCraft 2 players don't see.
Okay.
Because a lot of StarCraft players in StarTale played LoL with me, and they would be good mechanically. Even they would be bad mechanically, but they
were
would
running
be
out of time. Our camera's gonna run out of batteries.
How old is this
shout out to StarTale.
10 minutes of batteries.
Partying, go Squirtle. Go buy me dinner if you guys win something. Okay.
Thank you for the interview.
Thank you. Oh, and can I get that cool Team Liquid battlecruiser icon?
No, that's based on how many years your account's been on, I think.
Yeah.
I think something like that. It's like 10 years.
All right. I think we can do let's do one more for this session of cringe esports.
By the way,
content.
if people want some trivia, this actual event, IPL 5, was the event where I did that famous first interview with Double Lift, and I had one with St. Vicious, and there's the one like where I think I'd already done one with Snoopy from some like DreamHack or something, but it was one of the first events where I actually tried to do a bunch of league stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't hired to cast this event. I was pissed.
I mean, it's just the last IPL, if you remember.
Yeah, I know. I was really sad because I was doing all the MLG events at the time, and IPL was like, "Nah, we don't want you." I was like, "What the fuck?"
This was the one where they had like 1 million casters.
Oh yeah, so. This was a really fun one.
Because I think it had like dual stream or something.
So let's do one more, and I'll explain what this is. And we will probably end up doing another session of these at some point, guys. So thank you for all the recommendations. We have them all in a document, so we can go back and watch another one. Especially if this does well, we'll do more of them, right? So this last one is DOA casting Dota, and also it's Valdez, who is currently one of the LCK play-by-play casters, because he was around in the early days of League of Legends, and he became a StarCraft caster later on. So he was doing WCG, which was an old which was a tournament run by Samsung that was like the Olympics of esports. So you competed on your national teams.
Yep.
And so
it was a very prestigious competition at the time. I mean, this is at the end when it's sort of losing some appeal. But if people don't know what
2005.
In the 2000s, basically, this was as big as any other tournament in like whatever game you followed. Like this was a major, basically.
Yeah, and it depends on the game. Like, obviously, the premier StarCraft was still in Korea because a Korean would win this every single time. But for Warcraft 3, WCG was the biggest tournament.
Yeah,
it was the biggest tournament.
That's why famously for people like Grobby, it was all like, when are they going to win the gold or whatever?
Yeah. So this was very entertaining, very early days of esports. And so this is WCG 2012. I was in Korea at this point, but I had just gotten there. So I was actually casting WCG 2013. So the story behind this is that this was in Kunshan, China, which is a couple of hours outside of Shanghai, and there's nothing to do there. And when you cast WCG, because they have so many different games, you end up casting like a bunch of games you never cast before as a caster. So like I had cast a lot of Warcraft 3, but you'd cast like FIFA and then Warcraft 3 and then Dota and then League of Legends and then StarCraft. So needless to say, Doa and Valdez don't know anything about Dota. Okay. Now, Toby1 was also at this event, the famous Dota caster, and they had 2 streams though. So the B stream was casted by people who knew nothing about Dota, and even more hilariously, they didn't know any of the unit names, and their client was in Chinese, so they couldn't read the client. So even though what you're going to see is the observer is in English, they weren't seeing what you are seeing, which makes it even funnier because at the start here, when they're like in draft, you hear like Windrunner at your service, and they say a different name for her because they were hearing the Chinese version. Oh. And this clip, by the way, this is a montage of these moments, the funny moments from the stream. So it's not the whole game or anything, but this was very popular in the Dota community. And Toby1 was so mad that this was so popular because the Dota fans just thought this was hilarious and they loved it.
By the way, just as an aside, this is what you were talking about with that mad scenario where you could go to a tournament where you have to cast other games in your specialty.
Yeah.
And as you say, you might even be throwing one you've never done before. That's the reason why people don't understand why the legendary casters in esports aren't like the people in the modern day. The reason why people like Red Eye are legends of it, or Joe Miller, is because they used to do these events where theirs was worse, dude. At least these are all esports games. Red Eye's done them where you go to a World Cyber Games and you do CS, you do Quake, and then you do stuff like Karom 3D, like a 3D pool game that he's never played before, or like some racing game he's never seen. Is like you say, a mobile game with some weird Asian platformer shit. Like, and essentially, what their skill for real is they were like the freestyle battle rappers. They can just talk constantly, like what you're going to see DOA does here. But they never stop talking, and what they're saying sort of makes enough sense and is entertaining that you just keep listening. Like, that's actually a mad skill, Monty. I actually think people don't know. In the modern day, you're comfy when you cast now. It's your game. It's the one you've done for years. These guys have just had like raw talent. Man. That's like a fucking hard skill to have.
Right. And Doa is, one of the great fill artists of League of Legends history, or esports history, rather. So this
is why he's such a perfect person to have on like a couch for a watch party, isn't he? He's just a great person to throw in the mix.
I can't hear you at all. No.
So he's saying, I can't hear you.
We're getting echo. There's an echo.
He's talking to the producers.
Brendan and Doa here. We're going to be casting some Dota 2. It's the first
audio's obviously super scuffed. So Brendan is Valdez, by the way, and it's Team Mongolia versus Team Korea.
But we're gonna give it a try. And here is our first team here at WCG.
I don't know who this is.
And we have our first match coming up for Dota 2. This is the first time I've casted Dota 2.
This is like Linkin Park. I've just remembered this is the era when Korean and Chinese used to just literally just steal songs from America. Or they had like some.
Well, all right, I lied.
Remember on OGN they used to actually have all the like real new metal songs, didn't they? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean OGN, even in the League of Legends era, we had Imagine Dragons and stuff because they had all the rights because it was owned by DJ E&M. We had the rights to like everything. so they could use whatever music they wanted.
It's pretty dope, though, isn't it? Because we don't have that in the West still.
I will play the WCG theme song after this. I lied about this being the last video because that has to be the closer. That has to be the closer.
Yeah. I know quite a bit about that game, but Dota 2 is a bit of an unknown, but
I don't know,
lucky thing is on the main stage, actually, for the other Dota 2 matches, we've actually got Toby-Wan Kenobi and Keldor casting that. So if you guys want really high-level Dota commentary, definitely check out that stream. They're going to be on the main stream, I believe.
Yep.
If you want to just kick back, relax with some Dota Mongolia
we'll
versus
skip a little
Korea.
bit.
If you've watched any historic Korean movies such as Bo lately, the name was War of Arrows in English. That was actually a battle between the Koreans and the Mongolians. Be afraid to mention that on a Dota stream.
Really?
True.
Oh yeah. Well,
we'll get into the game.
It looks like it will be.
So you see how this is kind of in English, or the audio's in English. It's not for them. Like they're listening to Chinese.
Pick.
Can't see
so
those little
no bans quite yet. We have to
arrows.
see who people are gonna choose.
And I don't know who that is.
Like we said, if you're familiar with Dota 2, you know what's up.
By the way,
We
which
don't.
means
And
exactly. He goes, if you're familiar with Dota 2, you know what's up.
Unfortunately,
Because he
so-
does that. That's what I
It's gonna be
love.
in English.
I love
Yeah,
it.
we
Well,
were-
that's actually well done.
These champions.
That's like a good bluff.
Don't look
Heroes.
anything
Don't call
like
them
I've seen.
champions, man.
So
By the way,
they're
this
calling
is
them
hilarious.
champions
It's like-
from League of Legends.
It sounds like they're
I know that
boomers. They're
guy.
like,
That is
these heroes.
That is the guy who
Anything
can
like the ones I've seen
steal
before.
the abilities of all the other heroes.
Yep,
Like if
that's
a
true.
hero uses an ability, he can steal
I like
it.
how Valdez
And that's
kind
it.
of knows what's going on.
And that guy,
Check him out.
that guy needs to brush his teeth a little bit more. Well, Dota 2 is not really a new game because it's kind of just Dota again.
I've decided
That's
to
a
name the
great
top
line.
left one
That's
Double
like
Dragon.
something out of a parrot. That's like some Spinal Tap
actually really
shit on
funny.
team.
Yeah.
That's actually like a Spinal Tap line, isn't it? I know.
Yeah.
And
Dota 2, it's not even really a new game. It's just more like Dota.
I
Again.
want to say, and
Yeah, no shit. That is what
Yeah.
sequels are, Valdez.
that's good.
You've nailed
No,
it.
I love
mate.
this part. I love this part with the Windrunner at your service.
Fire and
Yeah.
Windrunner at your service.
That's good.
So she literally says her name, and then they're like, "I don't know what it's called," because it's just so objectively hilarious from the viewer perspective,
Oh, they're
but
getting
they just
completely
couldn't hear
cocked
it,
by the
so it
production.
sounds
Yeah, I
so
know.
stupid.
They're getting so fucked by the production.
And
Listen,
that I want to say Huntress.
see, they make him look like an idiot, don't they? Because she
Everyone's
goes
gonna
Windrunner, and he goes,
They're
I'm
just
gonna
like set up to
say
fail. It's so funny.
Huntress.
Dota 2.
I know, it's metal in it.
that guy looks like an elephant.
He does. He's more like a rhinoceros.
When you're at
really.
this level of casting in the game,
It's
I
not
think
really
the
a
good
soft
one, like,
trunk,
he
it's
looks a
like
bit like
a
an
hard-
elephant. I
And
thought
we're just
maybe
going to see a
more
replay actually
rhinoceros.
of this versus
Don't know
Rowan. You can
anything
see the
about the
knock up and the
game.
knockback, keeping her pinned behind the team.
Knock up and the
The wall
knockback.
going down as well, preventing the rest of her team from coming in to help. And there's Lady of Pain hopping over that wall to deliver most of the finishing damage there. Very nicely done.
But it looked like the Rhino guy got a double damage rune and was going into that top lane.
Okay.
Gonna 1 versus 3 up there, it looks like. Yeah.
Rhino guy.
Yeah, Rhino guy.
Also, by the
Sorry,
way,
I don't know the
He
name
had like
of
a
who that
blunt,
They
is.
don't have, like,
fist
kill
end
feet,
on
right?
his tusk,
look like
so
you
on
got
his
a
horn,
terrible
so
fucking 1v3
felt
or
like
something.
Rhino
What are you
punch.
talking about? You're
Rhino
the
punch.
caster.
Rhino
bro.
punch.
You're actually the look
Okay,
at you,
that's
Latigras. I mean, Gabby
good.
did. You're the caster. You're supposed to know how many kills you got. You're
Punchoceros.
Why's he gone? I don't know. You got a
I
few
don't know.
kills. What, 3 or something?
So
1v3?
sad
Whatever.
This is
I
a
know.
sad day for the Dota scene that we're casting this.
I can just acknowledge that it's a sad day for Dota that we're casting this.
And if people don't know, the other
And
thing you
we're
didn't
going to have to
mention,
see who's able to get.
Dota is probably one of the most hostile communities to
Yes.
anyone from outside of the game.
They loved it. They loved it.
Yeah,
People say, like some of Toby One's haters started saying that it was better than Toby One's casting, and that tilted him off the face of the planet.
Sure.
Get
Right, he was a bit of a
the denies. Not a lot of resistance coming out from EHP at the moment.
Yeah, Venomancer definitely a good pusher with all those squirty poison things.
Yeah.
Gonna bring down the tower pretty fast.
Venomancer poisoning all over, putting down those bug turrets.
Bug turrets. That's good. Another kill for Day, I believe.
They
That's-
just getting fed like crazy
Yeah.
here, man. It's like a EHP has just become the day buffet, dude.
Yeah.
They're not open in the mornings only. It's an all-day buffet. It's a 24-hour buffet for Day. So true. Double Dragon.
Double Dragon. I believe that's
Gonna hang out in the secret shop, maybe.
Plague Rider from Heroes of Newerth. Again, sorry for referencing another
Holy
game. Just
shit,
what I know.
dude!
But
how dare you?
What people wouldn't even know is this. Like, look, to be fair, Valve of all the ones wouldn't really give a shit. But like the idea you are on a live broadcast of the game, referencing a rival game, like looks a bit like that character from Heroes Newerth, you know, the direct rival in this game. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Just don't ixnay on
Wolf is just laughing at us.
it.
See it.
Some of you guys might know Wolf.
He's laughing and dancing in front of us.
Referencing Wolf.
Yeah, Wolf, who's also in the WCG.
It's not. It's not money. At this time, Wolf was never going to be in League of Legends. It's actually hilarious that he's now in League of Legends.
We will be there.
That's actually
we'll be there laughing at him. Actually, I'll probably.
And at this time, by the way, Wolf would have been a mad fucking elitist for StarCraft 2.
Oh, yeah.
League of Legends is
2012.
Of course, yeah. No, but this was his
prime.
Rhinotar.
It's a combination of Rhinoceros and Centaur.
Rhinotar.
If I had to guess,
and we need to add human on, so it's Rhino Mantar.
Rhino Mantar.
Rhino Mantar.
Yeah. Centaurs are already half human. You don't need to add
that guy that
Come on.
with the bloody mouth in the safe lane with the tri lane, and he has that item that gives him extra gold to kill a creep. So he's got to be the hard.
He has the item that gives you extra gold. Like, I love the fact that they just sort of trying, like, in a fucked up way, they're trying to be pros. It's just that they can't succeed. It's an impossible challenge.
Okay.
Man.
It's not like you can accidentally get the name of the item.
Put down the AoE, he will be able to dash out of there. But can chase again? Look at that now. The stun goes down on Akura. Oh, geez. Here comes Day again, and that is like an insta-gibbed undead monster.
It looked like a pretty close one-on-one, but then when you see Day come in there, blink in.
This is great for me because I still know nothing about Dota, so I have no idea what's happening.
Day happens for the undead, it doesn't go quite well. You know, usually they don't handle the light. They're much better working as night creatures. Makes sense. He's going to go ahead and put down a turret that looks like the guys from Tremors. You ever see the movie Tremors?
Tremors? No, I did not.
What a fucking.
We're gonna have to take you out back there now.
Tell Toby one, he'll come and like hang me or something.
For an audience watching DotA in 2012.
Bingo.
I can eat
coming out.
Maybe that was
a great movie though.
Able to roam around.
Good
It
reference.
doesn't matter who's there. Like Day can just escape from anybody.
Oh, look at this.
He's held in
Basically, a
place
horror
for a
movie
reason.
where it was sort of like it was almost like the sandworms from Dune.
The sandworms from Dune. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the ledge there, he's trapped up there with the bug turret, and some damage coming out from Venomancer.
Shivo's in trouble. Pale Justice pops up there, and he can't get away now. Oh, Pale Justice, what have you done? This was a bad decision. He's going to go down.
After that first kill,
they have that. So whatever, fair enough.
Combination. Hey, look at it's a courier. He's bringing you some stuff.
That is a cool sword, man.
It's a purple sword.
But his sword
glowing sword of pain.
His actual sword didn't turn purple.
That's right.
It's a little bit disappointing.
I love how they're accidentally calling out all the bullshit with MOBAs in general, where you can't see the item that you just bought, which makes it confusing as fuck to watch.
It's basically the least intuitive type of esports game.
Yeah, because it's like
even watching it, you don't ever get any clues. Like there's no way to change.
He doesn't change appearance, even though he's a lot stronger now. Like you know,
all day long farming.
Devil. Well, now that he's got the purple sword, he's going to be able to start to hack apart.
I think the purple sword is like the cleave sword, because he was just attacking that as cleaving, so allows him to farm a lot easier.
He doesn't need to pull everything under turrets anymore like he used to. He's very low on health though, so he needs to pull back. Yeah, nobody wearing their headsets.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting. They are in booths though, so no, they're not in booths.
No, they're not. They're on the stage.
How can they hear the game?
Well, they're actually not using microphones either. They're just yelling to each other. But there's no like Chinese commentary for the stage, so it's not like they know what's going on from commentators.
Yeah, they'd have to
turn around and look at the screen, and that never happens in these types of events.
Never.
He's actually referencing.
That's a League reference.
Yeah, he's listening to Worlds was like a month or two before this, I assume. So he's actually directly referencing like the womb cheating, basically. Yeah, exactly.
So famously, guys, Azubu Frost was penalized at the Season 2 World Championship, and this was after that. This was in November or December of 2012, I think.
Exactly.
And because Riot put the screen in a way where the players could literally just turn around and look at it, they like fined Azubu Frost for cheating for like during a pause looking at the game state. Just classic Riot. Build a stage where that is possible. What?
No, the same thing happened in CSGO, but it wasn't like a major though. Like Senya from Navi did it once, basically, but he got caught on camera as well. Just literally looking like, It's like, come on, mate. Like in our game, also, you know, you need to know where people are and stuff. So no, that just shows that just shows how amateurish esports was. That people just openly cheat back then. That's
well, also, I mean, it's not like we didn't know that people would do that in 2012. Esports have been around. It's just Riot was stupid.
No, I agree.
So, more farming going on. Whoa, he was just going crazy with that sword, man.
Someone turned on
I'm
the
gonna rename
dubstep.
him Crazy Sword McGee.
They just call him Crazy Sword McGee for the rest of the cast.
Well, anyway.
too.
Don't really want to say any information because I'd only be like 60% sure.
Well, we've already proven that we have no idea anyway, so it's kind of too late to save face at that point. With that.
Yeah, Doe's right. He's got to lead into it.
Pick up the chest. Day you want it. It's shining. It might have a compass in it, like in Zelda.
I love.
Maybe
those
it's got a
chests.
boomerang. Oh, you
She
just walked over it, man. Doesn't
Letting
want
us
that.
down.
It's like I already have the hook shot. I don't need this.
Oh no, just sitting there with the vision of the bug turret.
Bug turret does
Blinks
spot her.
in.
She's gonna blink out of there. Oh, she gets stunned though. Mogi, Team K, everybody on. Oh, Mogi, Team K, Mogi, Team K, And my personal favorite in this match, Double Dragon. Just hanging out.
Favorite hero.
My favorite hero ever.
So they actually, in Dota All-Stars, after this came out, so in Dota 1, they would rename this character Double Dragon. You had like a 1% chance of it randomly being renamed Double Dragon because of Doa's cast.
Oh, okay. It's two tails too.
So they put in like an Easter egg into the game.
Two heads,
not quite.
2 tails.
Not quite.
2 wings.
What was the 3-headed Godzilla monster?
I don't know, man.
Not
like
Gamera,
Ghidorah,
that's a giant turtle.
It's called, isn't he?
Gigan, not him.
Something
No.
like Ghidorah, isn't it? King
I don't know.
Ghidorah.
I don't know.
Something
One
like
of those. Rhinotar pushing up the mid lane.
Rhinotar?
Rhinotar, Rhinoceros and Centaur put together. Or well,
thought he was an
Centaur's a part
elephant.
man and part. No, dude, he's got a big horn in the front. How many elephants do you know that have a single horn protruding from their nose? We need to take you to a zoo
I've never
and
been
teach you
to a
about
zoo.
elephants and rhinoceri.
Never been to a zoo.
Rhinoceroses. I don't know if rhinoceros is plural for that.
Rhinoceri.
Well, he's part rhinoceros. He's part
Definitely
centaur and
rhinoceros.
he's part man. So he's Rhino Mantar. Remember?
Oh, okay.
The only thing is, though,
This
I
is where I
can't
would fight
even
with Doa
conceive
and
of-
say like, you know, the classic banter that Doa and I would have at this point would be me yelling at him that centaurs are already half man, so you can't add man to the word.
Thing is, though, I can't even conceive if someone actually did know Dota watching this game, though. It must have just been mental. You just have to mute the casters, I guess, wouldn't you? Just have to do whatever,
I mean, it's
do whatever
probably very
licenses they
man,
do on Reddit all the time. And they never do it ever.
Chewing apart the goblins.
Yeah,
That's what he does.
That's not an attack. That's a chew.
Yeah, that's right.
He's like on all fours,
Yep.
smashing his face into the creep.
There's an
That's a
actual
chew.
centaur. He's not as strong as the Rhino Mantar, so he's not gonna last quite as long.
If they can catch someone,
Smoke
that
their
could
way
be
down
good,
here.
and
They
it
might
looks like
catch Devil. Look at this Devil getting caught out in the open here. All the walls go down, trying to get away. Oh, look at the damage! This is what a hard carry can do in Dota 2, guys. I don't know. They just annihilate everybody. 4 members of EHP instantly dying, and there is
That's
the
5.
5th kill. And that could be about it. Wow. Don't mess with Devil when he's got the giant purple sword and the giant red sword and
he
the
has-
giant green sword
He has a BKB too.
and
So,
another sword that's on cooldown.
After the stuns went out, he was at like half HP. He used the BKB.
Yeah,
He was not,
and that is just going to be the end of the game.
it's
No,
a
we're going to go
replay.
for replay instead.
We
Then
see
we're
him
going to
use
see
the
it again.
BKB.
Bam!
And someone jumps in there.
Yeah,
young,
well, it
and
was a
does
nice-
some huge AoE damage.
It was a
and
nice
Devil
stun
just
from
kills
Rhino
everybody.
Mantar, and then Devil was able to clean it up. Rhino Mantar's just going to knock down the forest. He
That was
doesn't
all Rhino
care
Mantar.
about the Lorax at all. And
That
that's
whole
not the end
fight
of the game.
was
Yeah.
Rhino Mantar.
The Lorax.
He went in there
Mantar,
and
he-
just
Fucking, Dr. Seuss. That's a good reference.
destroyed everybody.
This is just a throwaway.
That's done, man.
Just
Couldn't
look,
come
if
up
you don't know,
with
we're
something.
going to tell you. Just Google what the Lorax is. That's a pretty funny throwaway reference. That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
And Devil
And-
just turned around and just annihilated everybody.
Yeah.
That AoE.
You can see EHP, man, like rubbing their brows in anger and depression. It's 25-8. They're not going to be able to get out of this one.
He needs some WCG
Look at how many
therapy.
swords Devil's collected. The only thing he has is a bunch of swords and boots and a drum.
He's a drum.
That's right.
What does the drum do?
He's gonna play that drum with his forehead too. But he's got to use all his hands to hold all his swords together.
Rhino
And
Mantar.
Rhino Mantar.
getting the focus of the spectator, and well deserved.
That's right. I believe that's true.
It didn't look like he was doing much in the laning stage, just sitting in that top lane, going 1v3, farming okay, I guess.
He's got 106 CS, though. He's right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah. Having that solo lane, I guess they weren't able to box him out.
3 denies, and you know what they say about when Rhino Mantar denies 3 times? That means
I don't know what they say.
That means your whole team is going to get cut to ribbons by Devil.
Yeah.
And his many swords.
I mean, DotA
gets we really appreciate you guys are awesome, actually. Like,
doesn't matter if you're making sense, keep moving.
Yes.
The Dota 2 community right now is my favorite community. You know why?
We're not getting trolled to pieces right now.
Because they could have seen 2 noobs trying to cast their favorite game and gone crazy about it.
Yeah.
They're nice, though. They're trying to help us out. And I appreciate that.
He's preempting this. Try to improve the cast as much.
I promise.
That's what we're trying to do.
I vow that tomorrow I will come back and try to know a lot more about this game. I will.
I do like how DotA preempts it and says that the Dota fans are going to be nicer, which they were, by the way.
Also, if people don't know, back in this area, you didn't even make that much for day rate. Like, it's actually ridiculous the job they're doing right now.
Oh, yeah. We did WCG because it was like absurd and fun, and you actually did WCG because there were things like this that you could do that were hilarious. All right, we're gonna end on the WCG theme song. So you guys have to remember that this
one of the most
song
iconic of all time.
It was
easy,
incessantly played on the WCG streams and at WCG events, and it is so shitty, but also well produced because Samsung commissioned it, and they would sometimes change it depending on the game. But this is an all-time.
To me, this is like the Rick
classic.
Roll of esports, you know, because it's like shit, but it's good how shit it is, if you know what I mean.
I played it as a joke at my wedding.
It's actually mad catchy though, isn't it? Like, it is a banger in its own way.
Because we had so many OG esports people at my wedding, people went crazy when this came on at my wedding because it was just so funny.
By a passion to win, playing heart to heart, face to face. The challenge of a lifetime stands before us now. Beyond the game, in the shadow of the golden gates, we have come to decide our fate. We're here to celebrate. Beyond the game, beyond the game. At last, the moment's at hand. All we need is to believe we can. We'll make our stand. Beyond the game, 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 beyond the game. The world's cyber game. The teams are here. The spirit is right. We're connected now in a powerful way. We celebrate our diversity around the world with a passion to play. The planet will be watching.
You want that part?
The message will be
I know about that. What's the whole planet?
So I love how this is from the 2009 where the finals were in San Francisco because it says in the shadow of the Golden Gate. But hilariously, so they had the original version, then they added the San Francisco version, but they never changed it back. So even in like 2012 and 2013, I was still hearing in the shadow of the Golden Gate. I'm like, I'm in fucking Kunshan, China.
Yes. We have come to decide our fate. We're here to celebrate. Beyond the game, beyond the game. At last, the moment's at hand. All we need is to believe we can. We'll make our stand. Beyond the game, in the shadow of the golden gate. We have come to decide our fate. Celebrate. Beyond the game, beyond the game, beyond the game. At last, the moment's at hand.
So epic.
All we need is to believe we can. We'll make our
So now you guys, if you ever hear OG esports people referencing Beyond the Game, that's what it was.
By the way, if people don't know as well, like Monty says, like that song came out obviously when the World Cyber Game starts, like let's say like 2000s, right? That wasn't even like what music was like then. That sounds like some 80s shit.
From 80s, yeah.
You know what I mean? It sounds mad cringe. Like that like the part I was making fun of where someone like Beyond the Game, just getting it. That's like some 80s cringe from like a fucking Hollywood movie or something, isn't it? You know. That's so like the joke is it was iconic from even the first year it dropped. I remember even having that as an MP3 file and just like just for memes, just playing it a million times, mate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everybody loved it. It was huge at the time. Still is very funny. If you have any OG person esports, they will know and love that
also,
song.
like obviously the part that's aged really badly is back then the whole thing was unfortunately to use the word cyber. Like obviously the CPL had cyber. It's actually the only place that still does it is actually Eastern Europe. They call it cyber sport instead of esports, basically.
Right.
But like that was unfortunately the thing back then was that everything was cyber. So that obviously is aged really badly. Where it's like we met at a moment in cyber.
No, we met through the magic of a moment in cyberspace.
Which sounds so shit, unbelievable, isn't it? Like if that was the tagline for a movie, we met during a moment in cyberspace. You'd never
through the magic of a moment.
You'd never watch that
cyberspace. They met through the magic of a moment in cyberspace.
That's some really old school shit, though. Yeah, like we said, that's like 20 plus years old now.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching our very first Freeze Pipe 420 Spectacular. Really appreciate you guys sending in all of the content on our Discord and on Twitter as well. We still that is not even close to the amount of stuff that's in this document. So we can definitely do this again if you guys like it and watch it. As usual, sub to the channel, leave comments below if you liked it. That'll help us do it again. Obviously, the bigger this gets. So we will see you for Summoning Insights.
And
go to thefreezepipe.com.
10% off.
Code LFN, 10% off. And we'll see you for Summoning Insight later this week.